What's up, family? What's up, everybody? It's welcome to the Professionals. I'm Graham Nolan. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Bros is a rotating show, and we go from each of the Bros channels week to week. This week is mine, and we are going to have a little summer soiree, which we do every year. This is more like a pregame for the TampaBay Con, where we're going to do our Hawaiian shirt and cigar and whiskey. So if you got them, smoke them. If you got them, pour them. And you definitely should be wearing them. So without further ado, let me bring in the rest of my brothers from other mothers. The first one has the most boom in the room, Mr.
What's
Dan
happening?
Fraga.
What's
Hey,
happening? How are you?
look, you got your nice flowered shirt on there.
It's
Oh,
pineapples, and I got my Jack Kirby shirt on,
Nice.
and I have a Weller's Private Reserve bourbon poured up.
Very nice. All right, you're doing it up right, son.
Man, close. I'm not outside like you are, but I'm doing my best.
You know, it's been quiet all day. We're running a little late, as everybody knows, because I had some technical issues I had to overcome here. I get outside, I got two freaking neighbors mowing their lawns all of a sudden.
That's how it is. What up, Duck Bacon?
I know. Yeah.
So this
So,
week,
hey.
real quick before you intro, this week,
Yeah.
my wife has left from now until late Saturday night. It's me alone with the kids. So I'm on the listen for craziness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prayers for Fragaboom, guys. Here's our brother from another mother, the West Coast man himself, Mr. Aaron, a beer drinker, Lopresti, because we saw a picture of him drinking beer.
That's right. I have a beer a year, and that was my beer. Now this is my shot for the month.
Wait a second.
What was
This
it?
is what we call
Don't drink alone, Aaron. What the heck?
this is what we call Hollywood whiskey, and you can figure out what that is. But
Iced tea.
yeah, baby.
Okay.
I'm like John Wayne. I can drink that stuff all day.
Hey, it was a pleasure. It was such a. I got to meet Aaron Lopresti for the first time this past weekend, which was pretty cool.
It was great meeting Fragaboom. He was stunned to find out that I'm actually taller than he is.
By like that much.
Yeah, just a little bit though.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a time.
Well,
but
Aaron's a giant among men.
yeah, I like to think so. But I've got many stories to tell you, so we'll save those for when the show gets rolling.
Good.
But, glad to be back and rolling here.
It's good to see you, my friend. And let's bring in other friend of our show, Mr. Cordrath himself, Andy Smith. Hello, Andrew.
Hello. Outside,
Look at him.
Hawaiian up, drinking a little ultra right beer.
Ultra right.
Here.
Yeah,
I love
baby.
it. That's awesome.
Ultra right, baby. It's 100% woke-free American beer. Eat steak, lift weights, be unsensible, drink a little beer. So I will.
I'm in.
It sounds like it was written for me.
I'm telling you, it was.
Really, man. You should have your own label, Graham.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
we have one more of our brotherhood here. Because Billy can't make it, he is still en route from San Diego Comic-Con. So let's bring in the bear man himself, Mr. RT Bear. Hello, Art.
What's up, brothers? Yeah, hey, this is the most festive shirt I have. So most of my wardrobe is black or gray. So it makes it easy for me. And yeah, I'm drinking whiskey.
Oh, what kind?
It's the iced tea flavored.
Oh.
I can drink this all day.
I think that's what Aaron actually had in his glass. That wasn't beer. That looked like iced tea.
It was beer. It had like a head on it.
That was dark beer.
Beer, yeah.
It was some kind of barbarian thing. I just said we were out there at a game restaurant, and it was like, anything that's got elk, they're serving elk. I'm like, you got to give me a dark beer to go with this, and they did, and that's what I drank. So
I just can't believe Billy took you to a gay restaurant. That's weird.
Game.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
so
I saw the picture.
You played Jenga? Yeah, well, isn't that just a man's dinner? No women allowed? Yeah,
well, no, Debbie
restaurant.
was there. And there was plenty of eye rolling, as you can imagine, when Billy was spinning his yarns.
Oh, of course.
She knows him well.
Yeah.
Billy Deuce
Hey, let's say
Senor.
hello to some of the rest of our crew here, and these are our regular folks that show up and watch all our shows. Citizen Ronan is here, Fritzy Schnitzel, Marcus Pellegrew, Stippling Vaughn, the Normie Nerd, and I think the Normie Nerd is going to be at the Tampa Bay Cigar Fest. I think that's what he had told. Caleb Reynolds, One Slick Dude is here. Prater 7. This is great. We got a really nice crowd here. Oh, Fraga Boom's here too. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, I was
Hey,
here.
look at that.
In the chat and on the
I was
screen.
here.
Duck Bacon is here. I'm getting castigated here. One Slick Dude says, "Yo, Graham, wake up. Nap time is over." Yeah, I had some tech issues.
Mm-hmm.
You
start dropping the boomer on you.
I know. We're broadcasting outside. So Paul Taylor is here.
I like that we're all boomers and yet we still call each other boomers. Like
I gotta disagree with that, Art. Do you know the year boomer ends? Because Dan and I don't fall in it.
Correct.
No, but you still act like a boomer. So there's
the only boom that's in my name is after Fraga.
That's right.
Yeah,
Boomer.
Boomers end at 1964.
64.
That was me. I was the last year of the boomers.
Yeah, I barely squeaked in.
That's amazing. And so did Billy, Andy, and I skirt the boomer?
Yes.
Okay.
So what are you guys technically called then?
Gen X.
Awesome.
Gen X.
Oh,
Homos.
Really?
Yeah, we're named after Elon Musk.
What's up,
friends?
Graham.
Oh man. So
I had a friend come over and he said I love you and I called him a homo.
Sapien.
And then I said I love you too.
Sapien.
Yeah, you Homo sapien.
You. Look at Graham. All professional.
What is that, a Monte Cristo, Graham?
No, this is actually a cheapie. This is a Stogie Brothers. It's made from a cigar shop.
Okay, now tell me what's cheapie, because I just bought two. I sent you photos, 2 Monte Cristos, and I only bought them because I'd heard of them before. The only things I know are Romeo and Julieta, the Monte Cristo, and Cohiba, and everything else I have no clue, none.
Rocky Patel, AJ Fernandez. What are some of the others that I like?
Take note, chat. Take note,
That's
especially
right.
if you're going to Tampa. You want to get on a man's good side. Listen to Graham's side.
Do they have like Castros or anything like that?
Well, you know, the one thing that Obama did, which I liked, was he opened up the Cuban market to cigars, and we were able to get cigars from Cuba here.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Trumpy comes in and he shuts the door.
Oh wow.
That was fun while it lasted.
Yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't have any. I don't smoke enough cigars to keep them around the house.
Smoke weed every day.
I don't have time to go out and get one either.
Man, I'll tell
I
you.
mean, you haven't had time to get one.
T-Bear.
Known for days.
Well, yeah, I have. I haven't left the house. That's why. See.
Okay.
No,
So
at my
who's all
desk
going
all the
to
time.
Tampa? Who's all going to the Tampa show?
This is a huge CG contingency there. Kelsey's going. Shane's going.
PTP.
PTP's going to be there.
Cecil, the Diaz brothers, Bancroft.
Bancroft's going to be there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Camel Moon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Jay Bama.
You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to rival our Sweet Time in Jersey. Is what they're
I know,
doing.
right?
That won't happen.
No, they will though. I mean, just in sheer
might have more
numbers.
people. Yeah, we might have more people. I don't know. The Cigar Fest is growing each show, especially these larger shows, because we're getting a larger group of CG fans just showing up. which is great because, you know, the corporate dudes, all those dudes that are whores for Marvel and DC, they don't care. You know, all they want to do when they go to shows is hang out with each other and go to the fancy restaurants and you know, just hang out by themselves. But, you know, we hang out with our fans because they're the best. They're so much fun. They bring beer, they bring whiskey. You know, if they're local, it's easier for them to bring it than us if we're traveling. No, they don't bring the women.
Dude, I feel bad.
I met a couple. They were nice.
Oh! I thought you meant to share.
No.
This is like a biker convention.
I love my life. I love my wife, and I love my family. So there, none of that. I can admire from afar.
Yeah, that's right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Do they still have the cigar bars? Because like a lot of times when I go, especially out of town, we'd look up and see if there was what is it, brandy or bourbon? What is it that goes with cigars?
Brandy.
Is it brandy?
No, it's bourbon.
Well, bourbon, brandy, cognac.
Yeah. And you'd go there and it'd be like perfectly air conditioned, so the smoke would be all, you know, out of your face.
Yeah.
And we used to do that a lot. Even like San Diego Comic-Con had a cigar bar that was it was actually, I'm trying to think, it was just outside of the what is that called? The gas lamp.
Gaslamp. Yeah. Gaslight District.
Yeah.
Gas lamp.
Yeah.
Gaslighting is what everybody does to us in the industry.
Yeah,
that's
sons
true.
of bitches, bunch of faggots.
Now,
oh man,
I prefer just straight rock gut when I'm smoking my cigar, or even when I'm not.
Oh man, look at him slamming those back.
Aaron, you keep doing that, man.
I'll tell you, Pilgrim.
You're gonna get some loose lips, and you're gonna sink some ships.
Yes.
You know, I saw there was a video that Arnold Schwarzenegger made because he's a big cigar guy, and he's talking about how you dip the tip into the tequila, and you get it to soak it up, right? And then you light it up and you draw from it, and it's supposed to, you know, take the the flavor of the tequila in with the whiskey.
Sure.
So I do this with some bourbon one time, right? I dip it in, you know.
Better, yeah.
Right? So I dip it in, I light it. You go to suck it in, and you get all this liquid from the bourbon right in the back of your throat. It's like,
oh.
I don't know how he did it.
Then you spit fire like Gene Simmons to get the alcohol in there.
Maybe Arnold likes a little liquid to the back of the throat.
Fucking everybody.
Hey, speaking of weed, which we kind of were, did you, Fraga? No, you're a pothead, so you'd know this.
Wait, slow down. Slow down.
I just
I'm
like
a
how
cannabis aficionado. There's a big
okay.
Right at you.
All right.
Hey, listen.
Did you notice?
Hey, listen. My wife is away at a retreat for quilting. It's not fabric school that she's at.
Okay, not fabric school. Okay, I want to make sure we don't get that. I don't get that confused.
All right.
Well,
so
did you smell all the pot outside at San Diego?
I probably contributed to the cloud.
Oh my gosh, it was like
it was
like
great.
Fog or something. I was waiting for pirates.
Is it legal?
It's legal in California, and there were everywhere I went. I could see people with blunts down in their hands, or hitting a vape or a joint, just sitting there, just walking down the street, like you would in New Orleans with a drink. You know,
that's like the old days.
Awesome.
At the Civic Center, Civic Center at San Diego, man, people would just be partying like right out. Remember that little courtyard, Dan? That like there was like the convention or the Civic Center, and then there was a little courtyard, and then there was like another building where they had the comic costumes or whatever.
Yeah, this is pre 91.
Yeah, right in that square, man. There would be all kinds of shit happening.
Yes. Yeah. Speaking of which, I want to show you guys one of my favorite pickups from San Diego Comic Con.
I just have to say, I smoked a joint with David Carradine, and then we went into the costume contest. Yeah,
I heard he had a lot of hang-ups.
Oh my gosh, that dude
son of a too soon.
I'm sorry. That's fucked up.
Who do you think taught David how to do that stuff?
I don't know.
Mr. Thibert.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Graham, can you make my screen big real quick?
You bet.
Okay. Our show consists of our bros, all of our bros and ladies in the chat that are big fans of comic history, check this out. I picked this up at the Comic-Con.
Oh, wow.
You know what it is? It's
Yes.
a CD of the vinyl, which was the coverage of all the big panels at the 1975
Oh wow.
convention. So you have Jack Kirby, Steranko, Stan Lee, Chuck Norris, all talking and doing panels at the 1975.
Norris?
Did you
Chuck
say
Norris.
Chuck Norris?
I did. There he is, right there.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Chuck Norris, and he's featured in a panel. So
Wow.
pretty awesome. If anybody is a fan of these gentlemen and this sort of comic history, just go to the Jack Kirby Museum. You can pick this up pretty cheap. That's where I got it at the Jack Kirby Museum. So cool.
Nice.
Very nice. You know, there was a lot of big, thick books there that I just had too much stuff. I could not buy anything of significant weight. I'm in that second volume, by the way.
I'm in this one. So this.
Well,
yeah,
you're
this
older
is-
than me.
Oh.
Yeah, Jackie Estrada sent this. So this is.
I have
like
both
what
of
you're
those.
Talking about, Dan. Yeah.
They're great. They're great.
Yeah.
And they just put out a book about Comic-Con 2, and it was interviews from people going all the way back. Jim Valentino is like all over that, you know.
There's Dave Stevens. This one's for you, Billy. There's Dave Stevens. Yeah.
He was at all those early ones.
Yeah, and there's actually a shot of Wendy Penny as the Red Sonja.
Oh, dude.
Oh, baby, that makes it
yeah.
worthwhile.
Makes me want to time travel.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a super chat in there from our good friend Chris Thacker, who we met at Garden State.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. We got a couple here.
Yeah.
200-watt studio, $2 super chat. Who here is going to Tampa Comic Con? Me.
Yep, just that guy.
This
Oops,
group,
that
it's
guy.
just me.
There's a shot of Jack Kirby drawing the.
Hold
Silver
on.
Surfer.
We got to
Sorry.
take care of our super
I thought
chats.
you read it already.
No, there's two of them.
Come on, Art. Quit being so aggressive.
Oh, my gosh. Are you afraid of finances? Of money? Chris Thacker, our buddy from New Jersey who hung out with us and was at our Cigar Fest. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Evening, gents. Can't stay. The wife has dinner almost ready, but wanted to say hi. Yes, but what is she serving?
Yeah, what? Yeah, Chris, what is she making you eat? Is it any good? That's what I want to know.
That's what we want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Tacos.
It's not taco. It is Taco Tuesday, isn't it?
It is Taco Tuesday.
Could be.
Oh yeah. Actually,
Shelly made some tamale pie, and I'm going to have some of that.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
I thought you did the cooking.
Well, I do, but when I was gone, she did she went on this just huge a bulk cooking spree. So he filled up the freezer with all these meals so that I could when I get home when I'm streaming, we can just crack out something out of the freezer and
that's smart.
Yeah.
Nice.
Art, what did you just show?
Oh, it's Jack Kirby drawing the Silver Surfer.
And next to him was
blow that up,
Will Eisner. Will Eisner,
yeah, Will
looks
Eisner
like.
with the pipe, with
his stash too, which is cool.
Oh wow!
Okay, how much do you think that went in the art auction? That Kirby drawing the Silver Surfer,
Probably
$500 maybe.
nothing.
Wait, back then?
Yeah, back then
it was probably $20.
Yeah,
maybe $100.
And you know what? I'm looking through this, and they said women didn't work in comic books. There
Full
are
of women.
a
Full.
ton of women in this book.
Yeah, but they just knew what they were doing.
Your hair looks stunning today, Art. I just want you to know that.
Oh, thank you.
No, that's Jim Valentino. That's not a woman.
Yeah, young Jim Valentino. Well, there's a woman right in the other.
Oh, okay.
And there's a woman up there, and then there's a woman up there.
That's Maggie Thompson, isn't it?
Those are great books, man. Though, it's just a fun romp through the days.
This is Don and Maggie right there.
Wow.
Look at Don, my gosh.
He's a good-looking dude.
Back in the day.
Who had a subscription to Comic Buyer's Guide?
I did.
I had one in the early 90s.
Oh, loved it, man.
Yeah, I love Comic Buyer's Guide.
It was great.
Every
it was
week.
Pre-internet, you know?
Yeah, that's how you kept up with stuff.
Yeah.
Stan the man. Who is that sitting with Shooter?
That's Stan. Oh, in this shot here?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me see. Jerry Pensel?
Don't know.
Yeah.
I
Don't
don't know
know.
who Jerry Pensel is.
Never heard of him.
Huh.
Never heard of. He's a nobody.
But he's big enough to make it in the book.
There's a young Karen Berger.
Wait a minute. Where is she?
You're
Yeah,
pointed
yeah,
at
I
a
got it.
bearded dude.
I
He's
know.
right here.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Is that Neil Gaiman? Who is that with?
No,
her?
that's Frank Miller. No, that's Steve Bissett.
Oh,
that was
nice.
Steve Bissett. Wow.
It's John Totalbin.
Oh, John
Oh, okay.
Totalman. Yeah, I
Well,
knew it was
you're
one of them.
close. You know, they're
That's
kind of the
close
same.
enough,
They're
yeah.
They're
interchangeable.
interchangeable.
There's more women here. More women.
John
more-
Totalman. Yep.
Here's the
Columba.
Filipinos. Here's Alfredo Acala.
What does he look like?
Filipino.
He looks like he's a Filipino.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, over
A
here.
handsome
There it is.
man. A
there he is.
handsome man. Yeah.
Wow.
The only guy that I'm not down with that I used to be down with is Tony DiZanuga. After I read that article about how he was undercutting and taking the
Right.
profits, that made me
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. What are you talking about? Share, man. I don't know what you mean. I didn't.
There's
I
Hear
did
about
a
that.
whole show on it, Aaron.
Who did?
I did.
Well, I missed that
About
episode. I was
about
asleep.
how Infantino was union busting, and the artists and writers were going to go on strike, and so he talked to DeZuniga, and DeZuniga took him to his studio in the Philippines, and he brought back all those guys, Ernie Cruz, Ernie Chua, all these dudes, to take the jobs from the U.S. artists to keep them from striking. And Infantino paid them current rates, but DeZuniga skimmed their stuff off the top and paid them Filipino rates.
And kept the profit.
Oh boy.
kept the
Do you guys remember Marshall Rogers?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Right there,
Sure.
baby.
Man, his Doctor Strange, his Detective Comics. all good
Detective
shit.
Comics, yeah, with Steve Englehart.
Yeah.
Draw capes, man. He was.
Yes, he could.
Todd
Didn't he have like a
before Todd
serious
McFarlane.
drug problem though, or something?
Did he?
Did he?
Yeah, I
I don't
think
know.
he did. And he
My-
died
Dan,
really young.
Did he have a serious drug problem, Dan?
Crazy doesn't recognize crazy.
He was in his what 50s when he died.
He was young.
Yeah, he
is
was in
Rogers
his 50s.
gone?
Was he
He's dead?
Don?
Yeah.
Was he Don Newton young?
No,
No. Don was only like 42.
He was
Yeah.
57 when he died.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
I
Oh, look
thought
at Jack Kirby. Like, remember the band? They'd always have a live band. There he is
Oh,
dancing with
that is-
Roz.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
man.
I
That's
love those
beautiful.
pictures of them dancing together. I think that's so sweet.
Yeah.
They had this wonderful marriage where, she handled everything to allow him to create.
Yeah.
She
What
did.
a
In fact,
wonderful.
in fact, when I first met Jack Kirby at the Civic Center, Comic-Con '89, and I asked him for his phone number, he turned around to Roz and basically asked her for permission to give it to me, which was really sweet.
There he
I've
is.
heard a
David
lot of
Carradine
stories.
right there.
Oh yeah.
David Carradine. That's when you
He's
guys
next
were.
to, that's Al Williamson next to him.
Yeah.
So you guys were blowing fatties at SDCC.
We were
huh?
blowing fatties. We got kicked out of the costume
They were
contest.
hanging
And
out
jerking
together.
off.
Hey,
Or
what?
that.
Yeah, that's how he died.
Yeah, but that's not how I'm going.
Yeah, that's what you say.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Once you
Andy.
put that necktie on too tight and start pounding a.
Yeah. Oh my
remember
gosh.
this wisecracker? Harlan Ellison?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Man,
I
that
never
guy.
met that guy, and I'm probably glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, I
he's-
have a great Harlan story.
He's Howard
but-
Chaykin before Chaykin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He's more extreme, but yeah.
Yeah, more
that's
extreme, more
possible.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Wait a second. He's not dead, is he?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
He died maybe 5-8 years ago, something.
yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chaykin
I met
is
him.
still alive,
You
though.
guys ever
No, I know that.
meet Ray Bradbury at the show?
No, that would have been
Nope.
cool.
Oh, dude, I went when I was in film school. Him and Chuck Jones were doing a retrospect on campus at UCLA, and I went there with a friend, and we watched this thing of him, Bradbury, and Chuck Jones live on stage, and they were showing several Chuck Jones cartoons, and they would do like this Q&A in between the cartoons. It was amazing.
You guys will dig this. Look at this. Who are these? Who are these old men?
Oh, Frank
Old man.
Thomas. It's the 5 old men from
Yeah,
Disney?
yeah. Look at there's Ward Kimball.
Is that Kimball? Hey,
yeah.
his
I remember seeing him. He was just at a table, just signing stuff and just hanging out. Like these guys were accessible back then.
Yeah.
They were just hanging out at the table.
get a load of this.
There's a
Ward,
documentary on those guys. There's 2 of them. I'm not sure if it's Kimball but they lived right next door to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Oh,
every
wow.
day they would walk to each other's house and hang out. They were like besties, and they're like these 2 old men, and they've got their wives too, and they would hang out and do stuff. It sounded like the most perfect thing. Like one guy would walk over to the other guy's house, and they would drive together to the Disney studios and work. They would hang out together at nights. They were like the best of friends living next door to each other. I mean, I can't imagine it. Ollie Johnson.
That documentary, my wife has she doesn't really care about that stuff. And I was watching that one night, and she came in and just watched a little bit of it. And it was so heartwarming. She sat down and watched the whole documentary with me. It is really amazing. Those guys are so damn humble and so freaking talented.
What's it on?
My junior high art teacher was Ward Kimball's nephew.
That's
Wow.
rad.
Mr. Kimball, all the way back from I kept in touch with him until COVID hit. We used to go out. I used to go out with my junior high teachers. They're all in their 70s and 80s, and I used to go out for breakfast with them.
Bob
And Aaron was 13.
George Perez.
It's Bob Clampett and June Foray.
Yep, Bob
yeah.
Clampett. Man, to go to San Diego in the 70s would have been great. Meet all
There's
these people.
Hank Ketchum right there, baby.
I met Hank Ketchum.
God, I would love a piece of anything that he throws ink down on. I would love it. That guy had such a killer line.
Yeah. Didn't he work for Disney?
I think Disney definitely used him as inspiration, especially on 101 Dalmatian, like the character designs.
I thought he did work for Disney early on before he did Dennis the Menace.
He might have.
But I could be wrong.
Who knows?
Oh, there it is. Here. Beanpad. Ollie Johnson and Frank Thomas both had mini rideable trains in their backyards. That's right.
Oh,
Oh,
I
my
think,
God,
Ward, I
that's
think
cool.
Ward Kimball did too.
I think Walt Disney did also.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, he created that stuff, you know?
Well, did you hear like Ward Kimball and some of those guys? They had like a band too. Like they were called the Firemen 5 or something like that, and they played like ragtime music. It was pretty cool, man.
really?
Wow, that's cool.
Used to do it in the Disney park, probably with the Country Bear Jamboree.
Yeah, there's a little clip where they showed like Walt. They have all the stuff set up, and Walt comes in or something, and then they hide all their equipment, and then he leaves, and then they start jamming again.
What do you got, Dan?
This is a book I just picked up. Sorry, I got the Salt and Vinegar Blue Diamonds. Stuart San Diego, an oral family history of Comic-Con fandom and the triumph of geek culture. It's really good. It's got interviews with everybody that was there. So basically that book that Art was showing with all the photos, this book is interviews with all those people telling stories about the convention from the very beginning all the way through. It's got an introduction by the RZA from Wu-Tang. A lot of really fun pictures and stuff. So just letting people be aware of it if they're into this sort of stuff we're discussing.
Check it out right here. This is Mobius and Eisner.
Dude,
Oh my goodness.
That is so freaking cool, man.
There's I've been reading a lot about the Phil Seuling cons, and I'm gonna do a storyteller Phil Seuling at some point.
is that the creation cons?
Yeah, it's New York, right?
Oh,
Yeah, New York Phil Seuling's New York Comic
Yeah,
Art.
they were the Seuling cons.
okay.
Yeah.
The ones I'd heard about because I'm a West Coast guy, and it's the one that Art and Rob Liefeld used to go to, were called creation cons.
Yeah, those were much later.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Seuling was way.
Oh,
Somebody-
he's one of the guys who started or was one of the instigators of the direct market.
Okay.
Cool.
But he started
He's
off.
a dude that was on a talk show and he showed up with action #1.
Yes,
That's right. That's
Superman.
right.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
With,
Yeah.
Superman #1.
With Klinger.
Superman #1.
Wasn't
Yeah.
Klinger there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jamie Farr.
There, Jamie
Yeah.
Farr.
And Wendy Pini came out in
That's
her
right.
Red Sonja costume afterwards.
Yeah. You know
Yep.
the
Awesome.
We showed it on one of the bro shows.
Wendy Penny right there, baby.
somebody had
Oh,
posted.
where?
Oh yeah.
Oh, there she is.
Aaron woke up.
Somebody
What
had
happened to the
somebody
button head at the
somebody
end
had
of
posted these want ads. You guys probably seen it, or maybe one of you posted it. I don't know, but it was little clippings from the back of Marvel Comics that the earliest sort of signs of fandom, like people talking like, "Let's hang out and talk old comics," or "We'll buy your old comics." The earliest indicator was 1966.
Who's that guy right there? Who's that?
R.T.
dude?
Bear.
Oh my gosh.
He always had the good hair. Art,
I'm
good
just-
hair.
So
Good
freaking
God.
young.
You got all the baldies. How do you feel surrounded by baldies, Art?
Yeah.
No. It's good. You guys are cool.
Beautiful
Oh,
hair.
thanks.
SOB.
RT Bear was just starting out in this industry when this photo was taken in 1987. Only having
Wow.
worked on Myth Adventures, Warp Graphics, he inked Dan Jurgens' pencils. Adventures of Superman. He worked almost exclusively at Marvel, primarily on X-Men titles.
I like all
Wow.
the past tense stuff, like you're dead.
I know.
Yeah.
Not yet, baby.
Worked on previously.
You may
It's-
remember he once.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like last night with Jimmy Reyes.
Exactly.
Oh, what was
I
that
know.
all about?
I
Apparently,
honestly
Jimmy
don't
Reyes
know.
has one foot in the grave. Apparently.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, I watched that show last night. I wasn't. I'm
Oh,
not-
you just couldn't join us? Oh, I see.
It was weird. It was very weird.
Yeah. It was Kelsey was more entertaining with his story about trying to get to Tampa. So
Oh,
he
what was
booked-
that about? He's
well, he
supposed to
booked
be.
the flight. He booked the flight, and the little calendar. He marked the day he wanted to leave. He checked the day he wanted to fly back, and when he got his ticket confirmation, it was for the 24th. So what is that? Yesterday, and it was literally flying in and flying out on the 24th. So he calls them up to say like, "Hey, this is totally wrong. We need to change this." And they're like, "Oh no, there's this window that you have to wait before you can make changes." And he's like, "But this isn't my fault." So long story short, he didn't get anywhere with it. So now he's renting a car and driving the 10 hours.
Oh my God!
gosh.
From Louisiana.
10 hours.
Running from the
I hope
gators.
his air conditioning works.
Oh,
Sounds
that's
like
what
our
happens when you
adventures.
That's what happens when you book flights when you're drinking.
yeah,
Exactly.
That's right.
Well, I kind of want to ask him what I'm like, is it Spirit Airlines? What freaking airline? do you
Yeah,
use?
exactly. Jeez.
Hey, can you
Yeah.
still buy a ticket in an airport for a flight? Somebody told me like China, you can't do that. So I was wondering if it's the same in the States here.
No,
yeah,
No, I
if they have
think you
any,
can.
if they have any room, but it'll cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can still like if your flight is canceled, you can still
Yeah.
find
Oh,
another
absolutely.
flight.
Hey,
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
good,
listen to
good.
this. I was in Kansas City. I was literally boarding the plane. I had given him my ticket. I was walking down the runway and realized my car. Didn't have my car keys. That I had left them back in the hotel.
Oh God.
So I had to fight my way back through the crowd, get out there. I called the guy that was the handler of the guests at the show to go back to the hotel and find my car keys.
Jimmy's still alive.
Yeah, Jimmy.
What's up, dude?
But I was able to. I just went to the window, the guy there, and I'm like, "Hey, do you got a later flight today?" And they were able to put me on a later flight, so it all worked out. But yeah, right there in the
Did you have to pay anything?
No, surprisingly enough, because it was, I guess, the same price, whatever I paid. They didn't like ding me for, they were kind of sympathetic to my
Right.
Yeah, I was
stupidity.
watching some YouTuber and he got stuck in China, and so he's in the airport and his flight he had to change his flight. So then he goes up to the lady and he said, I need to book a flight to America, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, sorry, you can't do it here in the airport. And he's like, what? And he had to it was like a family emergency. He had to get back. And so then she's like, well, you can do it online. So luckily he had a laptop and was able to, like you said, Aaron, like it cost him so much freaking loot, but he had to get back. And I was just like, I was kind of scared because I don't even have a cell phone. So I fly without any technology. So if I was in the airport, I have a burner. Like my daughter bought me a burner, so I'm like a drug dealer.
Are you a hitman or something?
Yeah, the Artie Bear hitman.
Wait. This needs a deeper dive, gentlemen. Hold on a second here.
It's only a burner.
I want to know why in 2023 you do not have a cell phone.
Because he doesn't know how to use it.
Well, I know how to use it. I just never leave this place, so it's virtually pointless. I also have a vehicle that I never drive because I'm always in, with my wife, so we drive that car. So
the Maserati never goes out. I get it.
It is a sports car, and it's quite fast and cool.
Art,
I just never drive it.
You're very unique, Art. Very, very strange. What's going on there?
Yeah, very strange. Aaron's trying to figure me out.
I thought I knew Art, but I guess I don't know him at all. He's a mystery.
Yeah.
He's an enigma. Yeah,
wrapped
in a mystery. Okay, let me throw this out. So I talked to a ton of people at San Diego. I won't say who this is because he may not want to know that he was able to drop this information on me. But a pro that is still
Bill Sienkiewicz,
still connected to the industry very well.
Adam Hughes.
His feelings.
JR.
Yeah, JR. It was JR.
His feelings were it's not going to be too much longer before DC definitely and probably Marvel are just licensing out all of their properties and not going to publish in the sense that they are right now. That they'll keep a skeleton crew of editors to kind of oversee this stuff, but they're going to farm that stuff out, and it's
already happened, Aaron. It's already happened. I found out this weekend that Marvel has already licensed out. Remember the Human Fly?
Yeah.
They've licensed that out already.
Maybe the
Human
dry
Fly
run
that Frank Robbins did in the 70s.
Yep.
Wow.
Maybe it's their dry run, to see how the procedure.
Let's not
goes.
get rid of anything really important first. Let's.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's definitely not important.
Well,
no one even knows
they
about it.
tried this with the Heroes Reborn, with the Image guys. So I think that was a trial run. And also, what was it, Marvel Knights with Quesada and Palmiotti? I thought that those were all kind of trial runs as well.
No, those are still published by Marvel, though.
Right, but they were going outside of Marvel and having them produce the comics. So there was very little editorial, involved.
They actually went back to the old school style of comics from the 30s and 40s, where you had packaging studios like Cigar and what's the other one? Simon and Kirby, Harry Chesler. They all put out these packaging groups, and then they realized, well, if we just use freelancers on our own, we can do it ourselves.
Didn't they have to give the illusion that the groups were larger than they were? Guys were drawing under multiple names, like Lou Fine was like 5 dudes or something.
Really? That's
interesting.
No, I thought they were doing that so they could work for different studios without the other studio knowing. That's what I thought.
I had heard that they did that because then Eisner could go, you can get, Billy, Art, or Dan, but it's all one guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
This is as bright as it gets, man. This is as bright as it gets.
Mac off, guys.
Mac Rayboy did that.
Tampa Bay Con. Just saying.
Mac Rayboy did that. He was he had guys working for him, and he would put out, they put out together those the Fawcett books, the Captain Marvel Jr. and stuff, and other books. And of course, like you said, Eisner had Reed Crandall and Jack Cole and Lou Fine were all in that studio.
Said he couldn't draw a
Bob
hat for
Powell.
shit.
Bob
Yeah.
Powell was in there. Yep.
Yeah.
He said that Lou
Mhm.
Fine's biggest weakness was Spirit's fedora. He couldn't get it right.
Really?
Yes, Paul.
They had
Paul
to give it-
Taylor for a $10 Canadian. Thank you, sir. Hail all. Special shout out to Art. I also have a cell phone. I also have a cell phone. Like the Hawaiian theme, didn't the human fly attach himself to the outside of a plane in the 70s? I don't think that ended well. I think the human fly was based on a real guy.
Yes,
That's
it
what I
was.
thought.
Was it?
Yeah, that's
What
what I
came
thought.
first? What came first? What year did Human Fly come out? Because I remember in Bruce,
77-ish.
then
Yeah,
guess what?
76, 77.
Then check this out. In Enter the Dragon, when Bruce Lee is sneaking around and Williams is outside after he made sweet love to all those ladies, and she
Yep.
said, "You can't go outside," and he goes outside and he sees Bruce Lee and he goes, "A human fly."
Yeah, I remember that.
I think that maybe that's where they got it from.
Wasn't
Could
the human fly the guy that would dress like in tights and he would like climb buildings and do like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bob
I
You're
know.
Gable.
talking in the comic, right? Yeah, he was a stunt.
But
guy.
there was a real
I
guy.
think he was Canadian.
There was a real guy that did that when
Oh,
they used
right.
to have like thrill seekers and stuff like
Yeah.
like high wire acts that would like walk across the wire between buildings and shit.
You mean
Oh, yeah.
between
One of
like the
those
Empire or
guys.
the Twin Towers? The dude that did that.
Yeah, there was a guy who dressed up as Spider-Man, who had climbed a wall. I remember cutting it out.
His
of the
name's Peter
newspaper.
Parker, Graham.
Wait, what?
Wow,
His
way to
name's Peter
ruin
Parker.
it, Art.
That's his secret identity?
Oh
Come on.
shit!
Yeah.
Sorry.
Art is
You
rude.
blew it, Art. Nice going, Art.
You
Randy
gotta-
Howell for $5 Canadian. The Canadians are coming out in force today. Thank you, guys. Wait, DC is going to fix itself? I may have to rotate my avatar. I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on that working out well.
You missed
Yeah.
one from Bob Gable as well.
From who?
Bob
Well, the
Gable.
answer is Art Thibert, but Bob Gable has one for $199.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Thank you. I go to my starred section. Bob Gable. Out of the 5 of you, who would Kirby punch? Oh, that's
Oh,
easy.
oh, I think it would be Aaron. I think it'd be Aaron. 'cause
It
nobody-
definitely would be me. It would
No.
definitely be me.
And then
No.
10 years down the road, when he meets him at a convention with Shelley, and Kirby loves Shelley, and Aaron says, "Do you remember punching me?" He goes, "Who are you?"
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Oh,
That's
he
right.
punches him again.
And then Aaron punches Shelley.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. And then Kirby punches him again. For
And then it's
punching.
on,
Yeah,
man.
and then Kirby
It's
punches
on.
him again.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Baggins is ringing the bell at $5. Hail Professionals. Looking forward to seeing everybody who's going to Tampa. Also, a human fly fan. All right.
Yeah, I used to own them all. It was only, what,
Really?
9 issues, I think.
I was not in my wheelhouse, that one.
I got to
Well, I
see
mean, I
some-
like Frank Robbins, Lee Elias. I think Bob Lubbers did some towards the end.
Wow. Lee Elias did some?
Yep.
Oh.
I got to see some original Frank Robbins in San Diego. That was like outside of seeing friends and being part of the documentary. I would say the highlight of my show was just being in the presence of all that greatness. I got to see
Yeah.
some Noel Sickles. Like I got to hold him, got to hold
Yeah.
some Alex Raymonds. It was pretty awesome. But those Frank Robbins, I like Milt Kniff. I liked him before I got educated. In fact, I gave a big ups to you, Graham Nolan. I was at a booth that had tons of classic stuff. Noel Sickles. It's where I got the Roy Crane from. As an art dealer named Steve Donnelly. Nice guy.
Yeah, Donald.
Oh, yeah.
Nice guy. And he kept saying to me, "Man, so surprised you have such a depth in your enjoyment of the field." And because I was calling out modern, mid, bronze, da da da, and he was
Right.
mostly surprised with my my education of the pre-1950s strip guys. And I said, I gave all the credit to you. I said, that's Graham Nolan. That's all Graham Nolan.
Hey,
Nice.
Dan, is he the guy that has the huge booth that's right on the edge of Artist
Yes,
Alley?
exactly
Oh,
right.
I love that booth. Yeah, I get lost in
Dude,
that.
they're all great. And what's cool about those art booths is they all have different sort of flavors and vibes. Like,
Yeah.
Albert Moy has got like kind of a more modern thing. Anthony's art has a vibe to it. The heritage always blows me away. I had taken some pictures of some original Frazettas and such, and then there was another guy, Michael. Thought it was Mitch Ickowitz, but it wasn't. It was another guy, but he had some Wrightsons that I took some close-up pictures of.
Isn't Steve the one that has like he has comic strips too, right?
Exactly.
And they're all in plastic, and it's right there on the table, right?
Yes, dude. I got a soft spot for Frank Godwin, and just holding those and seeing the Ben-Day on them, and just like looking at the finesse of the line, seeing the Frazetta, the girl kind of reclining, the ink. I think you guys probably saw my post. Seeing that in person was like seeing it for the first time ever, because I'd only seen it in books and admired it from the books. And when you're in the presence of the original, I had to kneel down. I felt like I was in a shrine almost, because they had it low. Faint. And I put my camera up against the glass and zoomed in and just like systematically snapped sections just to see like the delicate finesse of the line that you could never see in a printed book, because it's always reduced.
Sure.
But there was a lot of that. I held a $500,000 Jack Kirby splash page in my hands. Wow. The splash from man.
Hey, let me just cut in here. This isn't $500,000, but it is $5 million.
Yeah.
And I want to thank Kino Reviews for that. He wasn't going to Tampa Con till now, and he has a box of cigars from Miami for you.
Ooh, those would be good.
Yeah, can't wait to see it. That'll be fun.
Hey, Dan, have you ever asked people like Steve or these guys, like, why are you selling this stuff? You know what I mean? Like, if you had a collection like that.
I know exactly why.
Because
I sussed it out of him. He and I talked for probably like 40 minutes. Like, he didn't know who I was, and I didn't know who he was. We were just chatting, for a long time. And then he realized when he asked me what I did, and I told him who I was, and then he knew who I was from my name. And I asked him his name, and I was like, "Oh shit, I've seen your name a bazillion times. Like, I know you're the guy." But through that conversation, I realized his big passion is Walt Kelly. Like, he's a Walt Kelly guy through and through, and his own collection is filled with that. And one of the things that I learned from Liefeld, who learned from another art collector, Dave Mandel, is people that have passions for something will do all kinds of bank shotting to get what they want. So, like, imagine that Dave Mandel's thing is Frank Miller, especially Akira-related Frank Miller. And let's say Rob has a page. And Dave approaches him and says, "I would really like that page." And Rob says, "No." Dave will talk to him and find out what it is that is Rob's sweet spot, soft spot, and go, "Oh, he's a Burn X-Men guy." At 2 Burn X-Men's for that one, bullseye stabbing Elektra page. I'm going to go find those X-Men. So he wheels and deals with another guy who has his own passion, gets those 2 pages and says, "Hey man, how about that Elektra page? It's not for sale." "Oh, what about these?" And then they go, "Oh, here's the page." And then you know what I'm saying?
And the more impressive it is, the more he can get what he wants.
Right.
It's kind of like when you were a kid and you collected baseball cards, like I did, and then you go, I don't like the Astros.
Right.
But you have a friend that does.
He's
so
all
you like
about
the Dodgers, and then you can trade like teams up that way and then get the whole team.
That's exactly that's like the 2 people I found out were that way were Steve Donnelly and Mike Thibert, who was Kirby's guy. And
right.
He had several Frazetta. He's the one that had the Kirby splash. He had 2 Kirby splashes. Red Nails. He owns Red Nails, like all of it.
Wow.
Yeah, because he's a Barry Smith guy. Like, Thibodeau's passion is Barry Smith and Jack.
Oh, shit.
So he constantly is sticking and moving to get that going. So, like, it's all like you said, Art. It's this sort of thing, but it's all a bunch of super fans, basically.
You know what's cool is like we've never grown up. Like this is still like trading card stuff, and
It
now they're doing it with like
is.
tens of millions of dollars worth of like comic book original artwork.
Yeah.
Dude, I am absolutely shocked at the prices of things. That's one of the reasons I did a digging through my stuff. I saw this Art Adams classic X-Men cover, and it was a good one, but it, all of them were good. But it wasn't like, oh, that's the iconic one. It was just one of them and a good one. 195 grand, for the cover. And Graham knows the power of that stuff because he's sold some nice pieces too. And my Bloodstrike selling for $40,000 is sort of indicative. Yeah, Aaron's like, what? My cover of Bloodstrike 1, but it's iconography. We're talking about 40 grand, $40,800. So I was talking to my friend Mike, who's a collector, and he was asking me if I picked up anything at the show, and I picked up some trinkets, and he started telling me like some of the stuff he had, and it made me do some digging, and I realized like, I lost a lot of good pieces over time. I used to have the cover of Long Shot 5. I used to have a Dark Knight page. I used to have like 5 McFarlane pages. Like, there were some missteps along the way.
This is why you don't have a drug habit, Dan.
I know. But I also own the layouts to the Asgardian Wars front and back cover to the trade paperback, which are like highly coveted, and I'm like, oh shit, I've had these for 30 years. I've got Rob Liefeld layouts from New Mutants 99, first appearance of Feral. I have the physical drawings because I bought them back then.
I have Gil Kane layouts from Hawk and Dove.
See?
I think it's Hawk and Dove. And
really?
I have some Jacema layouts from Conan.
Ooh.
And the Fantastic Four, actually. I have a few Fantastic Four pages as well.
Oh, wow.
And he would draw like full size. Like
What
both of them. Like these are 11 by 17. Yeah, these are full size.
Woodford serve.
So, first of all, Brian Christow is lamenting the fact that he doesn't have any Plug originals, and I don't want to rub any salt in the wound, but I have 3.
You bastard.
Actually 4. I've got 4. And but
I mean
Fraga.
5. I mean 5, guys.
No, I got 4. I've got I got one of his cards. Remember his card set he did in the early 90s?
Yeah.
I got the Abominable Snowman from that one and the original pencil, which he gave to Shelley. He gave to Shelley. I had to pay for the painting. And then
I remember that.
You showed the painting, right? You showed that on one of the
I got a page from the Weird World Marvel Premiere number 38 that Nino inked over him. And I've got a caveman sketch he did for me and something else somewhere. Anyway, so Fraga, at Albert Moy's booth, because I mentioned this to you, he had the original Wrightson painting from the poster. What's it called? Something Knuckle Down's Lonesome. What the heck was that called? Where those guys are dragging it's an acrylic painting where they're dragging the coffin through the woods and there's a ghost back in the distance. And
really nice sleeves on the foreground guy.
Oh yeah, Bad Doings and Knuckle Down Lonesome or something like that. Bad Doings. Bad Doings and Knuckle Down Lonesome is what the name of it. He had that painting up there for 55 grand. But right next to it, as I pointed out to you, was that great Neil Adams painting. It was a Khazar painting with a monster behind him. And it was like, I don't know what that was from. Do you?
No.
I don't know if it was ever used as like a Savage Tales cover because I'd never seen it before.
Dude, I'll tell you something that happened is like, and the reason why I go by those booths, like I was there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The reason I walk by them is because you see something new every time. There's like, it's like almost an overload, and I forgot my glasses. So like, I scan and then I hyper focus. I'm like, oh my God, it's a Tales of Suspense page inked by Chick Stone. I'm just sitting there staring at it because, it's like, these are our artifacts. Like, and to me, I kept repeating the same thing over and over. And it's something that Rob Young told me when we were talking about just old comics. There's something magical it's like, you know, it's the thing, the source of this thing. And it's just like, I can't believe I'm in front of this thing. This thing has been,
I know.
you know, like, and what it represents through the history of things is just incredible.
Well, that's
one
the
of
thing.
best,
It's like,
one of the best gets of the San Diego Comic-Con that I've seen posted was Sergio Cariello posted a Joe Kubert Abraham Stone page that he picked up.
Oh, that he bought. Yeah,
Yeah. Did you see that, Andy?
I did.
Oh
Where
my
did
God.
he get
I
that?
wonder what that cost him.
Well, you know, I asked him earlier when he was posting pictures, you know, what the price ranges were for the Kubert stuff, and the DC stuff was out of control. It was just, you know,
Right.
through the roof. But the Abraham Stone stuff, I think, was around between $400 and $800 a page.
What?
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, there were a couple nice ones too that I saw that I was like, oh, that'd be nice to have.
I mean, that was just. There's 7 panels on this page, and
Yep.
every panel looks amazing. There's no crowding. Nothing looks crowded with 7 panels. The word balloons are perfectly placed, so
Hey, now.
everything flows so perfectly. I mean, this is like a master class in how to lay out a
Mhm.
book.
He's taking a veiled shot at Dan there, I think, in his word balloon placement.
Here's
Oh,
some
what's
here's some
that?
Johnny Ramita Jr.
Wait, you own
Bishop
that?
pages.
You own
No,
that?
these are Xeroxes.
Dude, that is some of my favorite stuff. It's so powerful.
It's so cool, right?
Yeah.
It's so good.
And here's
Graham.
here's my
Oh.
first cable drawing.
For
I was
real?
working out this original.
You know
Working
what's
out
Oh, wow.
the
crazy,
designs,
Art?
yeah.
$100 confirmed.
Were you the
$100
first one to put the goatee on him?
Yeah. So this is 92.
Okay.
What'd you say? It was gay?
I said it for Andy's reaction. I literally got what I was looking for.
Yes, you did.
Andy likes the gays.
That's the other
Well,
half
you
of
know.
that double pager.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's
What is
cool.
that? Issue 300?
I think wasn't it the mini series?
No, it's either 300 or 306.
Who
It's
inked it?
good. It's so freaking good.
I think the one I'm thinking was that inked by Scott Williams.
Scott Williams.
Scott inked what? How many? Scott only inked a couple issues over JR, didn't he?
Yeah. Ah, look at that grizzly, dude. What are you
Yeah.
thumbs down in, Aaron?
I have
Ronan,
Xerox.
man. Citizen Ronan's giving me crap in the chat.
Oh, okay.
I've got Xeroxes of X-Men #1 by Jim Lee.
You
got the
do?
whole-
I got those too. Yeah.
I would like
Oh,
those.
that's cool.
I have.
You mean
I have-
pencils or pencils and ink?
Xeroxes of the no, I'm not sure. I got to go back and look because the books were all at that time were printed here in Buffalo, or they were colored here in Buffalo. So I knew a guy who worked there, and he made Xeroxes of all the stuff and sent it to me.
That's awesome.
It's got to be inks, then I would think if it was.
I think it is inks. I think it is inks.
I have a whole bunch
This
of
is
process
cable.
stuff.
Is this from the mini series, the cable series?
Are you talking about Blood and Metal?
Dan will know better.
It
just
I'm
says
not sure if
cable-
that's Blood and Metal. It doesn't look like it, but it might be.
It says cable 1 on the, or cable
If it's-
10. No, that
Oh,
it can't
10.
be. No, it's page 10. Yeah, it's cable 1, page 10.
I'm hardening the nips.
Man, there you go.
It's your
of my
superpower,
pouch.
Dan.
I am.
Well,
I'm
let's.
the
I,
nip-
want to get back. I want to talk about San Diego Comic-Con a little bit more
Sure.
because I want to give a shout out to 2 people that received Inkpot awards that were long overdue. And one is my very good friend Bo Smith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bo got
Yep.
one. Good job, Bo.
Yeah.
Bo got his Inkpot, and the other is my friend Lee Weeks.
Yep.
Yes.
Lee
Yeah.
finally got honored and got an Inkpot.
That was his
so.
first time out there, so that's
Deserve.
Yeah.
obviously.
So-
But yeah,
Welcome
They,
to the
um,
club, boys. I'm so happy for you.
Yep.
It's a long-
Congratulations to both those guys.
Yep.
They came up to me and demanded I give mine back until I told them I never got one. So then they moved on.
Sons of
So,
bitches.
It's coming, Aaron. It's coming.
sure it is. Sure it is, Graham. Hey, will you share my screen real quick? We're all over the place as usual, but we were talking about the art dealers, and this is one of the things that Neil Adams painting freaked me out. But somebody had this cover, the original cover to this Frank Bruner Marvel Premiere #12, and I was
Frank
like,
Bruner is so underrated.
I was just going to say that. I always loved his work.
Yeah. I mean, he was
He-
sort of an Adams clone at one point, but
yeah,
he went off on his own. That back shot, that back page of the Doctor Strange Treasury Edition, where you've got the Ancient One and Doctor Strange, and he's sitting in like a yoga position, and then Clea, is it Clea or Clea?
Clea.
Yeah, Clea with her big boobs. That shot is such a great image.
There goes Cleo with her big boobs.
Yeah. Well, no, he had that.
I'm sure the art was great.
Yeah. Oh, I got to see the cover of Tales of Strange Tales 168, the last Steranko issue. That was there at Heritage. That was really cool.
How much?
It was to be auctioned. So the same thing with the. There were a bunch of beautiful pages at Heritage that had no prices on them because they were.
Yeah, there was somebody had. I don't know if you saw it, if you got down far enough. If you went all the way, I think it was Comic Link. I may be mistaken, but if you got all the way down to the other end where the comics were being sold,
yeah, Vinny.
They had a Conan. Oh, what was it? #5 or #6? Barry Smith cover they were going to auction off, and I thought, man, that's going to go for some bucks.
Yeah.
So here's my question about San Diego this year. With the absence of Hollywood because of the strike, the pictures that I saw on the floor, you never would have known it was San Diego, because it looked like just any other comic convention with you had dealers and you had your artists and stuff like that.
Yep.
It wasn't this sea of humanity.
Dude, that is so true. I talked to somebody. First of all, everybody that had booths that I talked to did way better than they normally do, and myself included. And I talked to somebody, and I just told him, I said, the vibe this year is different. I like the vibe. It has a really sort of feel good vibe to it. And then like the next day or 2 days later, I talked to another guy, walked up and used the exact same words that he said he really liked the vibe this year. And so I'm like, get Hollywood out of there, and we're gonna have a better show.
Didn't Jim Lee even have a statement, something like that?
He did.
There was a
he
quote.
Said, comics have returned or something, or
to San Diego.
Yeah.
It was a totally different vibe, man.
Yeah. So, Aaron, you had said, before you walked out the door, you were X amount in the hole. Did you make a profit? Did you make that back? How did you do?
Well, let me put it this way, without actually dropping any specific numbers, because that would be like me bragging about having 4 Plug pieces when someone in the chat doesn't have any. I just don't want to do that. But let me put it to you this way.
Billy's eating good tonight.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we have Wednesday night is the preview night, so it's 3 hours, 6 to 9, right? And then Thursday is officially the first day of the con. By the end of day Thursday, I had made more money than I ever made at a San Diego con in its entirety. I had made in that first day and a half.
Yeah.
But did you make your investment in that day? Like
I was in the red by the end of Thursday.
You mean in the black?
In the black, excuse me. Yeah, I was in the black by the end of day Thursday.
Wow.
Which is, usually I'm sweating bullets hoping to break even by Sunday. So it was nuts. I just a tremendous show.
Now, was that sketches or was that original art sales?
It was original art sales. I usually that always determines how good your show is. Ultimately, is how much how many covers you sell, or if you sell a cover or whatever. It was nuts. I was selling original art like crazy. In fact, I would say 90% of what I made was original art sales.
I got to witness it. I watched him make sales.
Yeah, Dan was there. He was my good luck charm. I rubbed his head.
So do you think the original art
you reached down and
no I rubbed the top of your head. I didn't rub the lower head.
Do you think the original art market's going to continue to go up, especially since there's more digital art
being produced?
I think so.
Yes, it's like somebody had said this. They said it's like Waterworld. Remember Waterworld paper? And everybody, they're sniffing it and all that. Like, heck yeah. Like,
well, and it always comes down to what you have or what you don't have. And the one thing I was concerned about projecting to next year was that I had like Justice League pages there that I haven't really done anything with since COVID, right? The last job I did for DC, and a lot of those sold. Some of the Herculoids page sold. A few Swamp Thing pages that I had for my Walmart Giant sold, things like that. But then I thought, I'm not going to have any of that stuff next year. So what's it going to be? But I will be selling next year. I'll have Wraith of God pages, which I'm not selling from the first issue, but I will be from the second issue, and a whole bunch of Kit Carter graphic novel pages. So we'll see. We'll see if that sort of interest in original art goes beyond just the staples of, Marvel and DC main characters.
Right. And if you guys want original artwork, artbytbear.com. Go there and see a wider range of original artwork there for your consumption.
He's always selling. It's P.T. Barnum.
You heard it here first from Aaron's mouth. Wraith of God 2 is not going to be as good as 1 because he won't sell pages from 1, but 2 he's like,
Shit.
No. What I'm saying is it's the first issue. I want to hang on to the first issue.
Know.
Andy, you lousy son of a...
You son of a gun.
You son of a...
Andy's like a family. Andy's like a family member.
He is like family.
I am. But just think, 15 years from now, how much or how less little whatever original art's going to be out there with a lot of people, and especially the newer people switching over to digital.
That's true. I mean, you look at someone like George Jimenez and all these guys that are like these hot artists. They're all digital. There is no art out there to buy.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah. And I'll tell you right now, if you guys are collectors. Oh, I'm sorry, Graham.
That's okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You have to realize that every 20 years, the things change over. So when you create something, and about 20, 25 to 30 years later, that kid that read that thing, that book means a lot to them. You might have thought it was shit at the time, but that was his first comic. And now he's a banker on Wall Street. He's got money in his pocket, and he wants that book. He wants that childhood thing, and he wants that piece of artwork. So that's what I always urge people, is to hold on to your work. Don't sell it off if you don't need to. Hold on to it for at least 20 or 30 years until that generation grows up and is flush, and now it becomes valuable to them.
Right.
In 20 or 30 years, Graham, I'm going to be dead. So I have to.
Wow, way to be positive.
Well, you're supposed to do this 20 or 30 years ago.
Oh, what? Yeah, okay. No.
Also advise you guys, don't negotiate your pages. The price is the price.
Yep.
Because there's such a market right now. I still have like art dealers that want or buyers that want to negotiate, and I used to a while ago, but I don't anymore because the price is the price, and
they're scam artists. These guys,
they'll turn around and sell
art guys are scam artists. I mean, I think I told you the story about that. I had this beautiful panel page from Vengeance of Bane 1, and this guy hounded me for like 2 years. He offered $15,000, and I wanted $50,000. He got it for $20,000. I wanted $50,000. This went on for 2 years. It's a Grail piece. I'll never sell it. I have to have this. I'm like, okay, I'll let you have it for $45,000. He goes, okay, I'll do it. He comes up to $45,000. I went down from $50,000. Ship it to him. 1 year later, it's on Heritage and sells for $85,000.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Yeah, I see that all the time. Yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking, but it is what it is.
Well, you also have to know what your good stuff is and what the stuff is that, doesn't mean as much to you too.
Yeah.
It doesn't always go that way though. Like what I put value in, sometimes the market is different because there's stuff that I'm really attached to, but it's because it has a certain like sentimental value, but not necessarily what a reader's looking for, or a collector.
Well, I still yet to work on anything that anybody wants. So when I get there, then I'm going to hang on to that stuff.
Oh, gee, Aaron, you've worked on a lot of much cooler stuff than I have.
Well, Aaron, that goes without saying, though, Andy.
Aaron, what I'm still sitting on? What I'm still sitting on, Aaron, is that Solomon Grundy book.
I've still got those. There's a blowout sale on my website next week. So.
Those pages just really aren't moving for some reason.
I like the way you think, Randy.
There you go.
Draw that hole in the book, right?
Well, the one thing I did that people wanted was the Planet Hulk stuff. And I did sell a majority of that stuff because, unfortunately, my career has always been I needed original art sales to augment my income.
Yeah.
But I always hold back really good pages that I want to keep. I've got a boatload of covers, splash pages, things like that I'm hanging on to, because if they ever do get to that point where they're like what you're experiencing with the Bane pages, Graham, that I've got those. But yeah, unfortunately, I still have to move pages to make ends meet. So it's just
you know what Andy Smith has? A 4-foot stack of originals.
No, it's taller than me.
I saw it.
It's 6 feet.
I saw it with my own eyes.
You're like Simonson, man. You got those big stacks of originals, not selling anything.
That's so nuts.
The reality is that if you're doing continuity work, you got a lot of talking head pages that nobody wants.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I mean,
But you know what?
I've got a flat file, a big, huge flat file, and I've got FedEx boxes out the wazoo stuffed into my basement, and I'm not even sure what's in them. But there's just a shit ton of original artwork.
But you know what? Like talking head, it depends on what's being said, because like in the old days when they actually lettered on the board, sometimes there was value to talking head pages because sometimes the dialogue actually is what's selling the page. Yeah. So sometimes they would want those pages because the dialogue's on them. But as soon as they stop doing that, I completely agree with you, Graham.
I know exactly what you mean, because what is it called? Canonically?
Yeah.
Canonically, I drew the very first time Norman Osborn and Peter Parker meet. Right?
What?
And it's a talking. It's a Talking Heads page. They met at a science fair when he was 10.
Well, what I do, Dan, and you might take note of this, you guys. What I've done the last probably 15 years with dialogue pages is I draw them all nude, and then I like Photoshop clothes on them, so my originals have naked people standing around talking.
Andy Smith did that first. Andy Smith did that first. I saw
That's
it.
true. Jungle Stories.
Yeah.
That's right.
Conversation in the jungle with a naked jungle babe, and
Well, all I can say is now moving forward, all the black and white dialogue pages will be all characters in the nude. So thank you for that.
I'm glad I can help, Art. I'm there for you.
And people meeting each other for their first time each page.
Yeah, each page.
That's right.
There might be some groping too, but that'll be all.
While listening to Josh Groban and watching David Copperfield.
Copperfield. Oh my goodness.
And I'm the boomer.
It's true.
Well, it's so funny because you look at guys like Dale, and I tell this story a lot because it's so funny, but I told Dale not too long ago that on Comic Link, one of his Hulk covers sold for $90,000, and
holy crap!
And he sent me a message and just said "swear jar." I mean, that was his response to it. And it's like, he probably got good money for it when he sold it, but he didn't get $90,000 for it.
I have a ton of regrets with that stuff, with all the Art Adams work that I did with the Jim Lee, Will Sprataccio, like all those 90s X-Men books.
Inflation's weird though, because I wanted to see how much money, like what it really felt like. That first comic I bought on layaway, that Amazing Spider-Man 121 that I bought for $1985. I wanted to find out what was $27 in 1985, and the equivalent it came to was $82.
It's just not the. Yeah, it's very different. It's just I keep seeing somebody must have the entire issue or close to the entire issue of FF 112, which is the Hulk versus Thing book. It had the black cover.
Yeah,
pages keep showing up on Comic Link, and that was the first comic I ever bought and read. It was my own comic,
I think Justo used to have pages from that.
Oh, geez.
I think Justo had that cover at one time, if I'm not mistaken.
Whoa! I would love to get one of those pages, but they're all like $8,000, and it's like or more, and I'm like, I can't afford that. But it's like I'm too old is my problem. The comics I remember in my youth, all the pages are worth a fortune.
Yeah.
If I even had Xeroxes of that,
and they become they're flush. They got money.
I'm not a banker though, Graham.
Well, you went into the wrong business.
Well, he's not
dude.
talking about you.
Absolutely, I did.
What you got to do is inspire a young person to give a damn, like, because at a certain point, like, I was talking to my brother at the gym about this morning. I follow this guy on he's an eBay seller named Irving Gelb and what he sells is old Hollywood memorabilia. But when I say old Hollywood, I'm talking like Rita Hayworth,
30s.
Valentino,
Yeah.
Errol Flynn, and like I'm watching what the prices are and what they go for, and they go for like nothing because the people that cared about that stuff are dying or
Yeah,
dead.
it's
Oh, yeah.
potential.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So
really true.
and like you said earlier, the thing about the people that, like, I'm not going to say who bought my $40,000 cover. I know who bought it. I know that person that bought it was a massive fan, and
Sure.
and a teenager at the time the book came out, so it had impact on them.
Sure.
And absolutely right that they become lawyers and doctors, and and they also get in. Like, I ended up taking a picture there because I realized how epic it was. It was like this. It was at Albert Moy's booth. Nick Barucci was there, and a bunch of other guys that I recognized as real high-end collectors.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized there's like a club in itself within that world, and talking to Marat, he was talking about slabs, and I was just telling him how I'm not really into them. There's some I'm into because a comic has very, like, I'm like, I really dig this comic and I want sort of a pristine version of it. But he used the term big boy slabs. He's like, yeah, man, I'm doing big boy slabs now. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like my FF1, I got no, he's like my 5 FF1, my 4 X-Men 1, eventually I'll get an Amazing Fantasy. And you go, oh, that's the world of big boy slabs. It's like,
Right.
and I got to hold in my hand a 9/4 Spider-Man 1.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I guess there's only 5 in existence in the known,
slab world.
in
Well, in the
known
slab world, because
Yeah,
they're
but
documented.
there's only 5 of them, and
Right.
and then like this guy's collection. Basically, this guy kept them like pristine, and then he died, and the family's like using this auction house. So I'm like looking at these things and just going, I've never seen one so beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
like
What
so
was that?
crazy.
A 9 what?
A 9/4
9/4.
A 9/4 Spider-Man 1?
Spider-Man
Yeah.
1. It was like looking at a new comic, man. It was just like
Wow.
No Marvel chipping or anything.
nothing.
Wow.
You know
Nothing.
what? I was just thinking, like those old Marvel books, those covers were so beautiful. Like, somehow they used different printing or something. Like, the colors were more saturated, and they were like, if you compare those like the DC comics at the time, those Marvel books look so much better. Were they using a different printing process, or
Actually, yeah.
Oh.
They had a K-tone on the because you all those early Marvels, you'd see those gray tones throughout, like gray backgrounds. So they were adding that K-tone into it, but they also used an inferior paper than DC. DC's paper, the colors popped more; they were brighter, and the Marvel stuff. If you look, they have collectors know it. It's called Marvel chipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The edges that chip off on the Marvel paper on the covers.
Yeah.
Because it was a cheaper paper, and so it dried out, more acidic, I guess.
well,
Yeah,
you call it chipping. I had what is it? The Avengers with Captain America when he shows up for the first time. I have
Avengers
that
4.
issue 4.
Yeah.
We all did
And-
the same.
Yeah, and I always want to say 5 for some reason. And I just went through my old collection, and I touched the thing, and literally it turned to ash, like where I touched it. I mean, chipping that's a nice term. Like, it just disintegrated. So I touched it just enough to get it in
You're going to
the
make
bag.
Aaron cry.
Yeah, it was horrible.
There's some restoration people, like, that's the good thing, that the one I held had 0 restoration. There are some that are graded at high numbers, but they trim and press and like take the staples out and put new staples in and like do things.
I don't know how the hell they do that.
There's fucking surgeons,
you can't
man.
even touch this cover.
They're surgeons. They're literally
Oh my
clean
gosh.
room. Like
they deacidify it so that the paper has more moisture in it again, you know, so it's not so crumbly. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. They'll clean, like an FF1 is a white cover primarily. You've got that white background. I mean, to see that as actually white is unheard of. So, you know, you'll get these guys that clean it, you know.
You know what's interesting? The one of the comics that I picked up recently in a very kind trade is a 9.4 of Cap 111. You know, the Steranko rays and the shield.
Yeah, we were talking about this at the show.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that even at a 9.4, that it's yellow. You know,
Bancroft in the room.
What's up, Bancroft?
In a few days, dude.
I see. I saw a question earlier from Jasper. He was asking if any of us met Eric July.
Oh,
I actually ran into Eric July. I got to see Gary from Nerdrotic. That's
awesome.
Star Wars girl. Got to meet her for the first time.
Yeah,
hung
me
out
too.
with her
Yeah, I got
a little bit, and saw John Delarose. Saw Mike Miller.
Graham, you got a $5. I'm sorry, Graham, you got a $5 super chat from Evil One waiting for you.
Thank you. Nope, that's not it.
That's Randy from the Evil One.
I don't see his in the start. Oh wait, there it is.
It's the bottom.
Yep.
There you go.
I know it's at the bottom.
Come on, quit being such a boomer, Graham. Jeez.
Evil One, thank you. Comic Link is trash. Some of my art and my friends' art on there, and we never sold them. OA always sells original art always sells for normal price if it's not a auction, guys.
Well, you have the option. You can auction it or you can just list it.
Yeah,
So,
you don't have to sell it.
Yeah, on Comic Link.
Oh, okay.
I only buy comics. He's right, though. I get good deals on Comics Link. Sometimes, you know, auctions are hit and miss, man. Sometimes you get lucky and you can get like a really good price because there's not enough people are interested in whatever you're bidding on.
Right.
You can, snag one. But okay, here's a San Diego story for you. Now, my entire career, I've wished because I'm a collector, right? You guys know that. But I've always wanted to work on a book that was like really worth money in the collector's market. So it finally happened. Okay, so DC, because he's outside, I'd get in trouble. DC put out this Wonder Woman comic, has a Jenny Friesen cover, right? That was specific to the comic, apparently. And it's like a Burbank, what do you want to call it? Promotional comic, right? Mm-hmm. And they took a story that I did, one of the last stories I did for DC, with Wonder Woman meets Amelia Earhart or something like that. And that story is reprinted in this comic with this Jenny Friesen cover. And apparently they're only releasing these to the public through Instagram. Like you have to do a lottery and things like that, right? So this guy comes up to me at the con and he has a copy of it. And he says, "Hey, would you sign this for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I signed it. And he goes, "I bet you haven't seen many of these." And I go, "Well, no, this is the first one." He goes, "Because they're super rare." He goes, and he shows me on eBay, somebody had a 9.8 slab selling it for $7,000. And he said, if you put one of these on Raw on eBay, he says, just put it up there, you'll get $600 or $700 for it. And I'm like, I got a box of these. They sent me a box of these comics.
Do you really? You got to slab one of those bad boys.
Dude, listen to this. I put them up for sale when I got them. So I was like, I don't want all these on one of my shows. No one bought one. I was like, $20 signed, no one bought one. I told the guy, I said, I almost brought these to San Diego and I was going to put them out on the table for $5 a piece. He goes, I would have bought one of them from you, then told you to take the rest of them off the table so he said, I don't know if I have 20, but I got at least 10.
Right.
And so I'm going to I'm going to get my 2 best copies, send them to CGC, get them slabbed, and I'm going to put a raw one up on eBay here in a couple days and see what it goes for.
You going to sign them before you get them slabbed?
I don't know if I don't know. Oh, another guy came by my table with one, and he wanted me to sign it, and he had the CGC guy there, and I asked him. I said, "How much you pay for that?" He goes, $500.
Hey,
Wow.
do you still get your comps?
Yeah, I got a box of comps of them.
That's so
I want to ask
badass,
you
dude.
guys, I've done a few books that were worth something, and
Yeah.
I could never bring myself to actually selling my comps. It always felt a little wrong. So
No.
what's the official? I don't know,
Yo,
because
you
I got
should
them
be-
for free. I got them
You
for
should
free.
be merrily
So-
rowing
no,
down.
you did not get them for free. You
Yeah,
did not get
You
them for
worked
free.
You
for
worked
him,
for him.
Art.
Hey,
You
Art
worked
Thibert,
for him.
you should be merrily rowing down several revenue streams, brother.
So you guys never had a problem with like selling the comps and stuff like
No,
that?
I
I've
take 'em
never
to
sold
con,
comps. That's
mine and
fucking
sell 'em.
filthy. I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
Well, the
I
sad
don't
part
know.
is
They just did one of those facsimiles. They just did a
What's that, Graham?
facsimile. They did a facsimile of Vengeance of Bane 1 recently.
bought
That just came out, and one of them has like a foil cover or something like that.
That's a
I
lot
take
of
them to
shiny
the
shit.
shows. I take them to the shows and sell them. You know,
How many did they
And-
send you?
what's that?
You mean DC sent you a bunch of them?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
nice.
sent me the regular ones and the foil covers, and I take them to the shows and I sell them signed. So it ups the
Sure.
price. To,
You know what
you know.
sucks is Marvel in the day, they didn't give very many comps away. Like you might get 10 books if
that.
you were lucky. Yeah.
Dude, Marvel sucked.
Yeah,
back in the
Marvel
day.
was really tight. Like DC would give you a
DC.
whole box
Yeah.
of books.
DC, you'd get a box of like 25 the week before it came out.
Yes.
Marvel, it'd be like a month or two later. And I remember sometimes they'd always be in the
There it
crappy
is.
yellow envelope, and I might get 5 or 10 copies. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it says Andy. It says visit Burbank on it. You should go there.
Yeah, whenever I would visit Wildstorm, they had a comp room because DC would send them stuff and their own stuff. And whenever I would go down and visit Wildstorm, I always left with like a couple $1,000 worth of books. That's how I got a lot of my DC trades.
Image in the day had something like that too, where there was like the comp room or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because I remember it was the one that was I think it was just before Eric Larson had it moved to San Francisco.
It was on Catella across from the.
I
where
remember
the
you had to
big
cross
drive-in
these
used to be.
railroad tracks. It was kind of
My girlfriend.
and you know what? I met John Malin. He was working in the offices then.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and I remember I published Chrono Mechanics. Hey, how you doing? I remember I published Chrono Mechanics, and the comps the proofs. John Malin drove to Hack Shack Studios because it was pretty close, and John Malin and I met like freaking 20 some odd years ago.
You should
before he
hold
was-
that over him, Art. You know, like when he gets all uppity, you just say, "Hey, you know what? I never delivered the comics to you."
That's right. Now go get me a coffee.
The thing is, I didn't even know it was John Malin until one time we're doing a live stream. And he goes, remember that guy came over, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no.
He goes, well, it was me.
He goes, it was me.
That's when you do your best Gil Kane impression and says, "Well, my boy, it was good
Well,
seeing
my
you."
boy. Yeah.
Well, my boy.
And then I think who was in the office, who's the Walking Dead guy?
Kirkman.
Kirk,
Yeah,
Robert Kirkman.
Robert Kirkman. And so I'm in there, and he goes, I'm working on this book, and I'm like, oh, okay. And so he just hands me a stack of these black and white books, and there's the Walking Dead books. Oh, that's an ugly cat.
No, those are those Sphinx cats. Man, those are cool.
That is ugly.
I
Put some
couldn't-
fur on that cat.
He's a beautiful boy. What are you talking about?
That.
Put
That's
some fur on
Noodle.
that
He's
cat.
a good dude. He's not
I
supposed to
love
be
the
down
name.
here though.
That's a great name.
Yeah,
And
he's
you know
got
what's
a
cool is that
umlaut over the
Marvel and
U.
DC used to send everybody their comps. You know, so like I remember being in like Scott Peterson's office, and he had a stack of Marvel comps sitting there, and he said to me, "Do you want to look through them?" I'm like, "Sure." And I pulled out all these I forget what the title was, but they were the reprints of like X-Men 1 through 10. that were all the Kirby ones. And then there were some Avengers one. I didn't take any new stuff. I took all those reprints of the Kirby stuff.
Was it the Marvel Masterworks?
Yeah, with the silver.
No. They were actual comics, not the hardcovers.
So
right.
No, they did. They printed those as comics first, and they had silver borders around them, and they had all the classics. Yeah.
Oh, Marvel Milestone.
Yeah, Milestones. I think that's what they're called.
Yeah.
And they were floppies.
Yeah.
Then that must be what it was. Or was it?
And those were beautiful books, though. I remember Marvel, even as tight as they were, those Masterpiece or whatever you're talking about, those hardback. They sent those out to freelancers.
Yeah,
dude, they still put those out. The Marvel Masterworks still come out.
I got a comp.
Do they?
I got a comp 2 weeks ago, and it blew my mind because I drew this shit 26 years ago.
Yeah.
It's this Generation X Epic Collection Volume 3, and they used my art on the back cover, which was really cool. But I was surprised when it it said Marvel Comics, and it came from Mid City. What's the big?
Yeah, they send out
Midtown.
Yeah.
Midtown
Comics, yeah.
It came from Midtown Comics. I'm like, I didn't order anything from Midtown. This is weird.
Hey,
yeah,
Dan, what issue does that go up to?
Now.
Yeah, that's their distributor.
This is volume. Andy, this is Generation X 24 through 32, plus minus 1, Annual 97, which is the one I drew. X-Men Unlimited 16, Marvel Team Up 1, Daydreamers 1 through 3, and Generation X Underground.
Well, if they do a volume 4, I should get a comp then.
Hell yeah, we could slap them like this.
And they only give you one, right?
They give you one trade paperback.
Yeah, dude, they would kill it. This thing probably a pound and a half, 2 pounds.
DC is much better about that stuff.
Yeah,
they give you.
But it's also when you knew the comics industry was hurting, when Marvel stopped really sending, a lot of comps, and then even DC stopped sending. They only send the ones that you work on, but in the day they used to send everything.
Yeah,
so everything that Marvel.
Yeah, if you were under contract, I mean, they send it to all the freelancers. If you were under contract, they send you everything they published. Like in DC, you'd get all the hardcover.
Yep, that's right.
Action Comics 1 through 20, hardcover.
Yep.
I got that stuff even when I wasn't under contract, because I only worked maybe a few years under contract at DC.
But you weren't under exclusive, but you still had a term contract, right? Like 12 issues of Superman or 12 issues.
You
didn't have any.
Month. No,
you didn't have any of those.
Deal.
Oh wow.
Here's the deal. What happened is if you go on contract and you get on that list, it takes them forever to get you off that list. They were sending me that stuff years after I was off contract at DC, just because I was on the list, and they never went in and checked it. So I was getting.
I even got that stuff when I wasn't working for them. Like when I was working at Marvel.
They finally figured out and go, hey, quit sending Lopresti those books.
Who's this Thibert guy?
Yeah, we got to stop sending him stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
He deserted us. Yeah.
No.
I think most of my career I worked for both companies every year anyway, so I never really abandoned one company for the other. There were maybe a few years here or there that I did, but not for long. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to get those boxes of comics, and I would thumb through, and a couple maybe I'd want to read, but most of them I was like, I didn't know what to do with them because I didn't want them. All the hardcovers I'd put in my bookcase, because I figured at some point maybe I'd want to go back and check something. But I would just recycle all those books. And the one thing that I regret is tossing that Batman #1 that Capullo and Snyder worked on, because I think that's like an $80 book now. And I was like,
you would literally put them in a recycle can instead of donating them or something.
I didn't know what to do with them. So yeah, I recycled them.
Oh my God.
Well, there's a guy who hates comics.
Hey, I quit reading comics right after about the early 90s, man. When I started working full time, I quit reading comics. I never had any time.
Well, there is that.
I have time. I just choose not to.
Yeah, well, now I choose not to, but
too busy writing and drawing them.
Yeah,
hell
exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You've got time
living the dream.
No,
Hey, Aaron,
absolutely.
how many pages you got left?
7.
I have 2.5.
Yeah, I gotta color my 7, so I'm a little bit worried that I
Wait, you
gotta
do?
Yeah, I gotta find some because they're Kit Carter pages, and all the ones I've done 8 pages and I've colored them all myself, but I'm on a deadline now, so I'm kind of like may have to get someone to color them. So we'll see.
This is why I stopped doing streaming shows for a while.
You can get so much work done; it's ridiculous when you don't stream just for a week. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm taking 3 weeks off because I got a couple conventions. Plus, I really have got to get pages done for Ghosts because the 2 Joe Frankenstein campaigns really took the wind out of the sails in the process. Because you know what it's like. You're constantly promoting and streaming and all that kind of stuff. And it takes you off the board. And I really had felt I had to buckle down and get a chunk of pages done, to move.
That's what I'm doing as well. Like I feel bad with like the King show, and even Pontificators. Yeah. But this is the show that I make time for, every week. But I only have 8 more pages of black and white.
I know.
So it's coming along.
Dude, that's got to be so exciting.
I'm so close. Yeah, I'm so close.
I want to tell you guys about something I'm very excited about.
Hold on, I got a super chat here. I got to cover. Bobby.
What's up, Bobby?
Get your fucking shine box, Artemila. Oh, you should say that on a King sometime. That'd be awesome.
I wouldn't dare.
That'd be funny.
Sorry,
I missed that, Bobby.
So August 28th, it'll be my 13th anniversary. Not an epic number, but I remember it because it's tattooed on my wrist, and it's also Jack Kirby's birthday.
15th anniversary of what?
My wedding anniversary with my wife.
Oh, nice.
What I was realizing is that August 1st, which is a week from today, will be the first time in 12 years, that is most of our marriage, that a little one won't be in the house. It'll be the first time in 12 years because they will all be in school. So for the 12 of the 13 years I've been married, there's always been a little one in the house 24/7. So I'm very excited for the peace.
Well, now you have an opportunity to make another one.
No.
But then you got to start volunteering to do recess.
Science, bro.
Lunch monitor.
Yeah.
Come on, there's always room for another.
But what I'm saying is that with you guys talking about like the lack of distractions, the one thing that toddlers do is like if you have a train of thought, they derail it nonstop. You're constantly trying to put it back on the tracks, and then every time you start chugging, it gets knocked off the tracks. And
Aaron and I are about to find that out again because we're about to become
you guys are going to be papas, man. And
but you know the great thing about being a grandparent is you go play with the kids, and then you leave them with the parents.
That's right. You can give those back.
Wait till that first Christmas when she gets a drum set.
My stepson's grandmother, his dad's mom, that's where he would go on weekends when he would visit his dad's. She would always send him back like caffeined up, and it would drive us nuts because he'd be like just cranked up on sodas. Man, the sun is setting on Andy. Look at that.
I know. I'm gonna have to turn
bedtime for Andy.
Don't let the sun go down.
I'm facing my house and I have my back light on me, so that's why I'm still illuminated.
I know.
I can turn my light on.
Yeah, but you're going to be silhouetted unless you turn around.
You'll be backlit.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, but it'll be like witness protection interview. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
My name is Randy Smith.
And I can't look because I'm on my phone.
That was a great crotch shot of Andy, by the way.
Yeah, we need more of that.
Can we not get a classier crotch? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Well,
just be lucky I'm wearing pants, you bastards.
That's true. We are lucky that he is. There we go again.
Andy teabag.
This is good.
Yeah, he gave us a set of zombie goggles or whatever they're called. I don't remember what the euphemism is, but it's the teabagging.
Oh man,
it's fine. See, I'm not silhouetted.
No,
Yeah,
you're
when
not.
I found out what
Yeah, that's
teabagging was,
better.
I was like, "There's nobody that does
What?
that."
Yeah.
That's
Does anybody do a tea bearing? You know what
a
I'm saying?
to
It's a
some
bearing.
berries.
Oh gosh, tea berries.
So yeah,
Oh.
Yeah. And then what is
back
the
to the
one? What
grandparent
is the
thing.
one?
Graham, when is
Oh, go ahead.
What, Andy?
I was going to say, Graham, when is your grandchild due?
Due date is February, but it's going to have to be scheduled, so it could be end of January. But
Mine's
definitely-
January.
When is
The
yours?
race is on January. Mine's
Wow,
January.
you guys, that's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got pictures of me drawing, holding Josh, like when he was a baby. I like have him in one arm and I'm drawing with the other. So I said, you know, he's got to recreate that with his kid, even though he's not an artist, but like doing
Well,
something. You know.
no. The
Are you
real
kidding
way
me?
to do
You
it.
have to recreate it with his kid.
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
Are
there you
you
go.
kidding me, Andy? What he needs to do is have Josh sit in his lap and have his grandson sit in Josh's lap.
Yes. It's like those cups that you just keep
Yes,
pulling
like
stuff
the
out.
Russian dolls. That just
Yeah, the Russian dolls. Yeah.
Aaron, do you did they find out what the sex of the baby's going to be?
They're going to, but they haven't yet.
Well,
You don't have to wait like
I found
6
out
years
just
and ask
before we
him?
went live
It's
Oh,
a little
yeah?
girl, right?
Really?
tonight.
Can you
Oh,
tell
that's
us?
awesome. When I found out the sex of my baby, they said, "Sir, your baby is gonna be very sexy."
Mm.
Just like his daddy.
Yeah.
So, Graham, you have only daughters, right?
Correct.
Oh my God! As soon as you have a grandson, you're gonna flip out, man.
I know. I know. I just want a healthy baby. I don't care what it is.
No, amen to that, dude.
Yep.
I
Amen.
don't care. It's going to be loved and spoiled, and it's going to be awesome.
It's amazing, man. Congrats to you both.
This
Thank
is getting a little too sentimental for my tastes.
Have a
Speaking
beer.
of San
Go another shot
Diego,
of tea.
Crusty
no,
Aaron is back.
yeah, crusty Grandpa Aaron. Hey, so I met Dave Stevens' sister.
Oh,
Yeah, she was because you know Billy Tucci. I'm trying to figure out who knows more people, Billy Tucci or Dan Fraga, because both of those guys know everybody. But so we went to dinner with Tucci, and Dave Stevens' sister was there. And so I got to meet her and talk to her. And so she comes by my booth the next day and has a sketchbook. No one's done anything in it. And she
no
says,
pressure.
yeah, I know. She says, we do like a
He'd be the
Rocketeer.
first.
You want to do a Rocketeer headshot? I'm just gonna get different artists to do Rocketeer headshots. So I'm like, so I opened the book, you know, and I markered it up, did everything I could to make it look, you know, next as good as I could. And then she says, well, how much do I owe you? And I go, oh, we're friends now. That's fine. Just take it. She goes, well, at least let me give you some swag. So I said, oh, okay.
Nice.
So she gives me these 2 Rocketeer coins.
Wait a sec. Solo
Aren't these
layout.
cool?
Nice.
Oh, the one that's in your right hand, bro.
Oh yeah.
Look at the back of that.
Challenge.
Oh, nice.
Badass.
Is that the
cool.
promotional stuff that they use for the campaign?
It's
I don't
just
remember
the
the
40th
Rocketeer.
40th anniversary. Dave Stevens, the Rocketeer 40th anniversary.
Yeah, that's not part of the DVD because the DVD was comics, T-shirt, and movie.
This
Okay.
is cool, man. And it's got this little thing in here with the art on it that is cool. That like the back.
Look at that,
Limited edition of 140.
dude. You got hooked up. She got
Nice.
hooked up too. Let's be honest, but
Swag, baby.
that's really
Yeah.
excellent.
You know, I never wanted to be Aaron Lopresti before, but now I do.
I want to do coins like this for Wraith of God. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Graham, you've done coins,
yeah.
haven't you?
Yeah. I have challenge coins for Ghost of Metakumba Key.
Oh, those are cool. I bought one because I thought it was so cool.
They're really
So
new.
I'm gonna have to do those.
Well, now
At the-
you'll
at
have a
the old-
second one.
Yeah, at the old Hack Shack Studios, if I had those made, they'd just be thrown at each other. I remember when I had the black and white Pogs and I brought those in. Oh my gosh, everybody's getting pounded with Pogs because they were the
man.
slammer ones, those acrylic ones.
Yeah, they had metal ones, acrylic ones, and the milk cap, like the cardboard
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
the-
nothing-
Should I open this? Will it be
No.
worth less? Okay.
No, hanging
I
on
want
the
to kind of
wall.
look at the back, but
You should be wearing that shit, dude.
oh man.
Yeah, open it up. Good lord.
No, I won't do it.
No.
This
This
is
is
a
cool.
slab guy, Andy. You can't tell him to open that up. As
Oh,
soon as
that's
I said I
true.
was going to open up my Captain Marvel comic, I was castigated by you guys.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
Well,
what the
I mean,
hell?
I would
Castigated.
castigate you for that.
Look at that,
That thing's
man.
thick. That would hurt if you got hit with that.
Oh yeah, it would. This is heavy. It's
Yeah.
heavy metal.
Put it in
Hey,
a sock and
no.
slap somebody.
Remember the
Pogs. Now
Pogs?
that's nostalgia.
Pogs. I
They
never
did a
understood
shit
pogs,
ton of
dude.
those.
Never
I did a shit
understood
ton of
pogs.
those Pogs for Nightfall. They did a whole line of those.
Oh wow.
And yeah, you know what that stands for, Pogs?
What?
No.
It's pineapple, pineapple something. Oh shit!
Pineapple,
Because
orange,
it's all
and
Hawaiian,
gay.
right? They were milk caps. It's all Hawaiian, right?
Yeah, they're those Hawaiian like juice drinks. It's pineapple something guava.
Guava,
Pineapple
yes.
something guava.
Orange guava.
Orange guava. That's it. Thank you, Matthew. Pineapple orange guava.
Is that
Oh.
the Matthew Clark? I worked with Matthew Clark.
That must be.
The Outsiders. Matthew
The
Clark.
Matthew Clark?
If that is the Matthew Clark that I worked with, let me know.
Are
I'm
you
gonna
the
say
Matthew
no.
Clark?
I was in a studio with Matthew Clark, or he was
I'm
in.
gonna
You
go
were
out
in
on a
that?
limb and say
Oh, you
no.
were in that studio? I actually went in that studio with Matthew. The one in Portland. It was in the city, right?
In the 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like at the top of it. It was called the Oregon Cracker Building.
But you
Bunch of
guys
old
had
white
some
guys,
kind
or
of
young
rent.
white guys.
You guys had some
I was
kind
gonna
of
say, a
rent
bunch of white
control.
guys
Like
up
it
there?
was a choice deal, right? Like you had because it wasn't like because he told me like Portland different, Matt. Bring him to CG, yes.
No, that won't happen. He unfriended me after that little thing last year. So
Oh, you're
What
racist.
little thing?
You're racist.
yeah,
Bob?
exactly. Yeah, my racist meme.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
I would have, done the same.
Yeah.
But anyway, Aaron, that office was incredible, and he told me that that you guys had some kind of killer rent control deal because Portland was trying to encourage people to like businesses to come in the city and stuff.
Wait, was this when did you go? Do you remember what year it was? Or about?
It may have been late 90s, early 2000s.
Well, that was Periscope then, because they formed after we disbanded. Some guys formed a new studio, and I remember them asking me if I was interested. I'm like, I never want to do that again, because I was in charge of everything. And we had Studio Source, which was about 3 years from 95 through 97, and then they did Periscope Studios, which Matt Clark was a part of. So I'm sure that's the one you went to.
Okay, because they had just fixed up the building, and they had some kind of killer rent control, and there were windows all the way around. It was a beautiful building.
Yeah, that wasn't the one. So you got the nicer building. We were in an old rickety building, but it was cool. It had character.
I would almost want to be in a more rickety building because of that. Maybe
Aaron, I bet you could get something real cheap in Portland now.
Even then, we drove into Portland because we were gonna bar hop and see some ladies, and man, you could park right on the street. Like there was nobody in that downtown area. Like we just parked right on the street, and this was like Saturday, like Friday or Saturday night, and I couldn't believe how dead the nightlife was in Portland.
Now it's dead for another reason. It's horrifying.
Yeah, there's just homeless
Aaron,
people.
does it rain a lot in Portland?
It never stops raining.
Oh my God! How can you live there?
I hate it, but we ended up. Here's the thing: both my parents and Shelly's parents were both in Oregon, right? And so I kept trying to move us out of the state, but you know how women can be about being around their parents, right? And so we ended up keep coming back, and everybody's passed away except my mom, who I got bagging cards, by the way, right now. My 92-year-old mother.
Wow. Gosh, slave.
What a
Got
sweet
his
guy
own
you
labor.
are.
Hey,
Goofing
it
off.
keeps
How many
He
cards did you
supported
bag
you
tonight, Mom?
through the years.
Yeah, exactly. And I got comics too. Get to work and go wash
on.
those dishes. I'm keeping her
You
young
can
and
sleep
healthy.
when you're dead.
That's right. Exactly.
That's what we told
But,
Jimmy last night.
so now we want to get out of here, but Josh has got a great job. He's an engineer. And he lives about 45 minutes south, and now there's a grandkid coming. So it's like we're not going anywhere until he goes
over.
someplace.
It's over.
So-
You're stuck there.
Yeah.
I've been trying to snowbird it to Florida, but Julie's mom is 90 and she's here, and Mary lives here. Mary is the one who's pregnant, is going to have the baby, and so my clock is ticking. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that anytime soon.
Well, we're the horrible parents because we left our kid in California. We did.
Yeah, but she's grown.
She
You're
wanted
fine.
to stay though.
Yeah,
so-
she did. Yeah, she did. Yeah. I'm hoping that at
told-
some point she does want to come out here because, like, California, she's never going to be able to afford the American dream. It's just not going to happen. They're never going to be able to afford a house.
No,
American
that's-
dream died there.
Yeah, it's not going to
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
Sad.
You know what I want to do? I want to move to Wyoming. And I just think it looks cool, kind of outdoorsy. You know, you can get a decent spread of land.
Aaron,
Get some
you're
goats and a
discounting-
buffalo.
you're discounting
buffalo.
the winters. My aunt.
Oh, I know. That's why we're not going to
Yeah,
Wyoming.
she
because the winter's
just left there. She had a beautiful 15-acre place, and during the spring and summer, my goodness, it was picturesque out of a
Mhm.
Kevin Costner film. Just very
Yeah.
epic. And but then she would send me pictures in December when it was minus 10
Blizzards.
degrees, and it looks like something out of a Tim Burton movie. And
Yeah.
I'm like, she ended up moving out. She moved to Florida. Because,
Well, we're
I
going to
think
end up
Montana
either
looks
Florida,
nice.
Florida,
Yeah.
Texas, or Arizona, probably. I mean, those seem to be the.
Now
David
you got to go to
Williams-
South Dakota where Christy Nome is.
Yeah,
but she
I was
won't be there
actually-
forever.
Seriously, though, I was going to say South Dakota actually doesn't look bad either.
Yeah, but it snows there too, like crazy in the
Yeah,
I
it's
winter.
know.
cold there. It's flat too.
David Williams
nice
keeps
here.
trying to talk me into moving to New Mexico, so I don't know.
New
Oh.
Mexico is gorgeous when the sun goes down. Other than that,
And what happens when you run
It's
out of
just a
meth?
bunch of dirt and sand and rock. And
Right. What did you say, Graham?
What happens when you run out of meth?
oh, shit.
Look at Aaron looks like Walter White. He could easily get into
Yeah,
that
he
business.
is the one who knocked.
Get your blue rocks going there. E.
That's right. Maybe.
Right. Learn a little
Maybe.
chemistry.
Yeah. So
That's a retirement
Well,
plan.
Shelly's brother recently, my brother-in-law, he and his wife moved to San Antonio area, and they love it down there. And from Oregon, from up here, they used to live about
Right.
a mile and a half from us. And his son plays college baseball, small college baseball, so they wanted to be close so they could watch his games and stuff. And they're down there now, and they love it. So who knows? We could end up down there.
Where is that area?
San Antonio's kind of like
Around-
California.
just outside of San Antonio.
Oh.
Yeah, it's more like dry climate.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even know. Is San Antonio on the border or no?
Yeah, sort of. It's down there.
Close.
Close.
Okay.
Art, do you get much
Yeah,
humidity where you're at?
Yeah, we're more south, so we're close to the coast here.
Aren't you close
But,
to Houston?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
real close to Houston, and Galveston
That gets
is on
humid.
the other side, so we're maybe an hour away from the beach. So
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty nice here. I mean, it rains. We didn't want a place that snows. The first, I think, 2 months we were here, it snowed. That sucked. I was looking for a place that didn't have alligators. Then I find out Lake Conroe has alligators, and I'm like, oh,
And you got rattlesnakes in your garage.
we have copperheads here. Yeah,
Oh my God.
Just as deadly.
but no,
Not to
really.
Art. Art takes
Yeah.
a shovel to him. He's not
Oh,
afraid.
I'll kill them all. So far, I'm probably jinxing it, but no snakes this season. So
That's good.
Now,
Well,
have you been tempted after you killed one to barbecue it up, see what it tastes like?
I was in
Ooh.
California because we had some guys Mexican guys that were doing some tree work. And I had that thing, and they were like, "Your barbecue's right there. We should barbecue it up." And I told them, I said, "You want to do it?" I go, "I'll eat some because I don't know how to barbecue it." And they were like, "You got it." They didn't. They never followed up on it, but I would have done it.
Oh.
Yeah. And then these guys are saying like in Mexico we drink the venom, and I'm like, don't drink the freaking venom from a rattlesnake. You
Get high, man.
No,
you die.
Ill, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, wait a minute. In an episode of Star Trek, Dr. McCoy used rattlesnake venom to create a sleeping gas, but it didn't work in the Western episode because it wasn't real.
It wasn't real. There's a place over here. It's called Uncle Tony's. It's a restaurant, and they have like rattlesnake burgers. So I got to try one of these things.
You got to try one.
There's a place. In fact, Art, you remember where Comic Mania was on Harbor, and Commonwealth, or they turned that place. It's the comic store I used to work at. They turned it into a place called Joe's, and one of the amazing things they have is these sort of like weird sausages. You know, and I thought at first it was predator prey. I'm not sure how they paired them up, but they had one that was like duck and bacon. But the one that was interesting, that's why I call it predator prey, is they had a rattlesnake rabbit sausage. And I tried it. It wasn't terrible.
Well, sausage you can get away with a lot because it's all spices and shit like that. So you can really disguise the meat taste.
Yeah.
You know, I think probably a hamburger you could too. Although, you know, it'd be pretty disappointing if you didn't get to taste that fresh rattlesnake meat.
Andy, do you remember when we lived in Tampa, or well, outside of Tampa, but when you drive by the sponge docks going south, there was a little market just past the sponge docks, and they were always selling fresh rabbit. And I wanted to stop in there and buy one. And I never did while we lived there, but I was tempted. So I was like, I want to try rabbit. I've never tried it.
I have a friend.
Have you guys ever been to? Have you ever been to Colonial Williamsburg?
No.
What a great place! It's everybody's in costume and in character and stuff, and you can go to these taverns that like George Washington went to,
wow.
I mean, yeah, the King's Arms Tavern. You can sit there and and the menus are all based on true colonial recipes. And one of the things that they had there was this thing called colonial game pie. So think of like chicken pot pie. So you've got your pie crust with this brown gravy and vegetables in it. And then the meats are a rabbit, deer, and there's something else in there.
Pheasant or something?
I can't remember now. But there's these 3 different meats. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so delicious.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Usually that stuff's all boiled. It's like boiled meat, boiled potatoes. Like, I don't like that stuff.
No, those guys ate pretty good back then.
They did? Okay, yeah. Because I don't like.
Art Thibert is listen, Graham. Art Thibert is talking from experience, so let the man speak.
Well, what do you think? I mean, you know.
He was
when you're fresh out of the stockade, you don't really question the food too much.
No.
When the House of Burgesses broke up and Art went out to eat, you know, he couldn't afford the King's Arms Tavern.
So I watched some. It was about like about how like I guess white slaves or like people that like from like I guess criminals. In Britain and London, and how they would just ship them to America, and basically
Australia.
They were the like slave labor kind of thing.
Yeah.
But up to that point, they were talking about the stockades. And, you're a kid, and you always go to like some amusement park or something. They have stockades. You take pictures, like, look at me, I'm in the stockades. Those guys used to get anally raped in those things. Like,
what?
Shit! The stuff that happened.
Vegetables at you and eggs.
I'd take the vegetables, but not the other. Come on now.
No, those guys.
This sounds like a
What
John Malin.
What about the vegetables
and the rape?
Wait, are we back to boofing? Because Aaron's going to leave.
I know. I'm going to drop
I'm not
out
going to
again.
go that far, but it was absolutely frightening what happened to these guys in the stockades. Like, it's not just in the elements, in the stockade. There was more. There was a lot more to it than that.
Oh, jeez. Thanks
Art.
for
bringing the stream down, Art.
Yeah.
Hey, you're welcome.
And on that note, oh, jeez.
Good going.
Yeah. And sometimes you get raped multiple times in the same day.
Oh my
wow.
God.
Hey, there you go.
How did
Something
you
to look forward
survive
to.
it?
No. Hey, I was a good boy back then. Yeah.
What do you mean? How did he survive doing all those guys?
Oh,
It's a weird thing.
Oh,
It's a weird thing.
I
to
hear
say.
Pete Buttigieg has a stockade in his bedroom.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
Oh, the best Buttigieg photo I ever saw was when he and his whatever
Gay
adopted that kid, and they're sitting in the hospital bed, the way your wife sat in a hospital bed when she actually gave birth to a kid. And so the
Right.
two of these dudes are shoved in this hospital bed with this kid, and it was like, are you out of your mind? This is like a clown world when two dudes are sitting in a hospital bed that didn't give birth to anybody and are posing with the baby as if they just gave birth.
Right.
Well, Graham, there are people today that will try to convince you that, guys that will try to convince you that they can give birth. So,
Well, Graham, just think in about 6 or 7 years, we'll actually find out what gender that baby is when they ask him.
Wait a second. Let me
When it's
rewind a
the sign.
second. Let me rewind a second. Art to Bear, I challenge you because I'm pretty sure I gave birth this morning when I had my coffee. You know what I'm saying?
oh my God.
Oh, a coffee baby. I've had that every morning.
Yeah, sometimes
Every
it
day.
does feel like a baby. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be the different show, and here we go. Right down the
Jack?
same old
Hey,
path.
the glass is empty, Aaron. You know what I'm saying?
When the glass is empty, the shit comes out.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh. I'm gonna have
Yes.
to take another shot here in honor of John Wayne.
Oh,
Drink.
John Wayne wouldn't put up with this. I'm pouring myself a double.
Good
I gotta say, Aaron is holding it together tonight.
He
You know,
is.
all the shots he's been doing. I mean, look at the clarity of his mind here.
It's almost as if he's not
It's like his
drinking at
body is
all.
processing the alcohol.
I know. It's just incredible. It's
Frankie
incredible.
under the table, that Lopresti.
I'm like Karen Allen in Indiana Jones, man. I just keep slamming it. No effect.
There you go.
Sean says that Melissa left because of your stockade experiences.
There you go. You
Not
chased
my
off.
stockade
Chased off.
experiences.
We're losing viewership, Art, because of you.
You're welcome.
Yes, we're not as bad as ballers. That's true.
No.
But we aspire to be.
That's right.
We don't try too hard though.
No, it just comes out naturally.
I don't know if it was on. It must have been Kings, and Shane Davis was on there, and it wasn't last night, but it was the week before. I said, I tried to watch Ballers. I've tried to watch Ballers a couple times. I said, every time I turned it on, you guys have midget prostitutes on, and he just laughed because he knew it was true. Anyway, go ahead.
Hey, Evil One, $2 super chat. Thank you. Have fun in Tampa, bros. Pasty Aaron needs the sun. Well,
Yeah,
I'll get skin cancer, so I stay out
so
of
do
the
I.
sun.
But
Kino's reviews, another $2 super chat. Graham, what days will you be at the con? I'll be there all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
that's right.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun show. I mean, it's right on the water, too. The convention center is by the river or something, or some kind of waterfront there. Looks really nice.
Yeah, wait a minute. Where is that? I went to Andy. Did you ever go to that? It was like a 1-day Tampa show when we were down there in CrossGen. Did you ever go to that thing? I went to a couple times.
But this Graham, if I remember correctly, it's on the bay, Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So
It's a Tampa Bay show. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can walk out of the hotel, and I mean it's right there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's attached
cool.
to the convention center too. The hotel.
Yeah.
That's always good.
And that's where we're going to do the Hawaiian shirt cigar night. We'll do
So
it
you
at
can
the
get
hotel.
drunk and eaten by an alligator in the same evening.
Well, that's how I roll.
Go fishing.
Well, you know that it's actually Louisiana has the most alligators in the United States. Florida is number 2. So
Well,
Is that
those are
right?
2 states I'm going to stay
That's
away
true.
from.
it was see, Graham, you were making fun of me for not watching your show. If you watched my show, you'd have so many facts like that. You just wouldn't even
You
know.
know
what to do.
so much about Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's right.
He is
And every
real.
once in a while, I, get a little shark knowledge in there, some, giant alligator stuff. That's always fun.
Hey, the only reason I passed chemistry is because my teacher, we used to put all these crazy trivia questions for extra credit on the tests that had absolutely nothing to do with chemistry at all. So, like, one of the ones was, what was Dorothy's last name in The Wizard of Oz? Now, and does anybody-
Oz.
Gale.
Right, it's Dorothy Gale.
Is it really like
yeah,
I
wind?
missed that.
Yeah, another one was, how many people were killed in the Great Shark Attack of 1913 or 1918?
112.
Was it 6? No, 5.
I think it was like 5 and 1 was wounded or something like that.
I'm trying to remember Jaws when they tell
But I
the,
got it back in the day.
they tell this.
Where were they attacked? Were they attacked on the shoreline or in a boat, or what? Where were they attacked?
On the shore. Yeah, it was shark attacks.
Well, they're
on the shore.
swimming.
Wow.
You're talking about the New Jersey beach thing, right? That's in.
That's
Yeah.
a mean ass shark. I mean, usually they won't do that much carnage.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
they'll
they were
fight,
feasting.
and then because usually they think it's a seal or something else. They don't really know what it is. So I heard they usually just won't sit there and just devour you, to kill
Well,
you.
yeah, they don't have to devour you. All they got to do is kill you. Bite your leg off and you bleed out. and
Bleed
you
to
die.
death. Yeah,
That's
bleed
true.
out.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
Hey,
true.
do you guys? Do you? Now, if Billy was on the show, he might know this. Graham, you might. Did you guys hear about this? I just found out about this recently. That during World War II, the Americans had the Japanese pinned down on some. I don't know if it was a Filipino island or someplace, and they marched them. They pushed them back, and they ended up in the swamps. And like 100 of them got eaten by crocodiles.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I didn't hear
100?
that.
Yeah, it was like 100 guys got eaten by crocodiles.
Yeah.
And I was like, that would be a crazy movie to
Wait,
do
you
that.
talking about Japanese guys or our guys?
Japanese guys,
Filipinos.
because they had to retreat into this like swamp, and it was just full of crocs.
Yeah, I think. It
Well,
was
you know what?
Okinawa.
They scare me
Yeah, it
more
might have been
than
Okinawa.
sharks. Like I grew up in Southern California. I was a beach guy, swam in the ocean all the time. There would be surfers that would, have shark encounters, but it was so damn rare.
Oh, yeah.
But alligators, holy shit! When I saw one climb a chain link fence, I was like, I'm out. That's fucking nuts, man.
They're dinosaurs, dude. They're dinosaurs.
I know,
I know,
they're
but it was
awful.
it was about a 6 foot like a chain link fence.
Yeah.
And I climbed it like a freaking lizard, and this thing was probably 6-7 feet long.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of got to the top and then just dropped, and I'm like, well, now it's in your yard. Way to go.
Good going.
I'd see gators all the time when I lived in Florida as a kid back in the 70s.
Oh
One
yeah,
time I was golfing with my dad, and there was like this water culvert, and then this undeveloped land over to the side there. So it wasn't part of the golf course, but this dude had shanked his ball and it went over to the other side. So he just like crossed over there, and the grass was about 2 feet high, and he's there with his club. And I see him standing over there, and he's like swinging his club, trying to knock the grass out of the way, looking for his ball. And I see him, and then I see like 6 feet over here is this 8-foot alligator sunning himself. And this dude he's walking towards the gator with his club going like this. And I say, dude, take the stroke. And I pointed to the gator. He gets up like this and he looks, and we're like, thanks.
I wouldn't go in tall grass anywhere, man. If there's not a gator in there, there's a snake in there for sure in Florida.
Yeah, I stay away from tall grass for sure. Yeah.
That was a guy who just didn't want to give up the stroke.
Well, we had an alligator on our street, in our cul-de-sac where we lived in Florida when we were at CrossGen. We had the guys across the street from us. Many of their homes backed up into this nature preserve, a swamp basically, and so they'd get snapping turtles and all sorts of stuff in their backyard, snakes in their houses. And I was always got called in the neighborhood to go like take care of these problems. I don't know why. And these guys came at my door, and a couple of neighbors, and they're like, there's an alligator in this guy's yard. And then right across the street from us, it was probably about 6 foot long, was like right underneath the hedge, right by the front door of this guy's house. And they were him and his wife were gone at work. But I was still cool. We had to call critter getters, but because they're like
Critter getters.
No, you call them up, they come out and they wrestle the gator and haul them away.
Yeah, but when? Like,
put them
how
in
long
stocks,
does it?
put the
Yeah,
gator
how
in
long does
stock.
it take them to get out, man?
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I saw a video of this dude in Florida yesterday. There was a gator on his driveway, so he took his garbage can. You know, like
I saw that too.
I saw that.
Where he scoops them up, throws the lid down, and then he hauls the garbage can down by the water and dumps the gator out. Wasn't that cool?
Yeah, I did that with a snapping turtle in a cardboard box once up against the garage door, and closed him up and took him in the back and shoved him in the drink. And I'm sure he came right out and went right back to the house. But
I did that with a homeless person.
Oh my goodness!
I just scooped him into the trash can, took him down to the river, and dumped him in.
Well, you know, when we were looking for places to live, I was talking to Ben Henderson, and he lives in Florida. He's got quite a bit of land, and I was talking to him about alligators. He goes, I walk around with like a holster and a gun. And so he says, when I see him, I just shoot him. And I was like, I would like to do that, but I don't want to live in a place where I have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'd have no problem with shooting an alligator, but I just don't want to live in a place that I even feel like I have to have a sidearm so I can go out in my backyard.
You're not get killed. Yeah, but you know, if you knew how to clean an alligator and prepare the food, you just go out there and plug them and drag them back, man, and eat them.
That'd be a lot of eating because some of those things are pretty good size.
Yeah.
I would eat a gator too. I have no problem.
I've eaten gator.
There was a time where you could get a thresher shark in restaurants. You can't get it anymore. But I used to love eating shark. Like, shark meat is like, it's kind of like, it tastes like steak, but it flakes like tuna.
Yes.
So it's kind of the best of tuna and steak. It was so freaking good. I think the closest to it is like swordfish.
Swordfish and sturgeon.
Yeah, swordfish I've had.
Yeah.
I had a blackened tuna steak or whatever at Chef Paul's in New Orleans. It was the best meal, and I'm not a big fish guy, but it was the best meal I've ever had anywhere. It was incredible.
You're not a big fish guy?
Blackened is good, yeah.
I had to wait in line about an hour to get in, but man, it was worth it.
Yeah.
Well, I caught a wonderful ribeye today and cooked it up. And
nice.
Yeah.
You caught it, huh?
I caught it. I brought it back. I put it on the grill right over there. It was delicious.
Kino Review says you can still get shark in Florida, so there you go.
Well, maybe I'll visit. Yeah, because that would be nice. I ain't living there though. No way.
Wild pigs in Florida are pretty bad too. See this?
I was gonna say that we have a friend here, and he owns a bunch of land, and he gets wild pigs on the property, and they go out and they just shoot them. And
that's a problem in Texas.
Yeah, they're nasty too, man. You don't want to mess with those things.
They have those ones where you can go up in helicopters and shoot the wild pigs. From the helicopter. You don't collect the bodies because they're, I guess, nuisance animals, and they just go up there and pop, and you shoot from the helicopter. And
there's no problem. There's no problem
here. Take them.
And he says that he does eat some of them. So I guess I'm gonna have wild boar at some point.
It's good eating.
I had wild boar at that restaurant with Billy on Friday night in San Diego, but it was
lion's share.
Yeah, the lion's share. It was like what do they call it? The bourgeoisie or something like that. So it was like an Italian sort of noodle and sauce dish, but it had wild boar meat in it. It was excellent.
Bolognese.
That's it. That's it.
Oh,
did it taste like
chicken?
Like no, like pork, like pig meat.
No, it didn't.
Not
in the typical sense. It was more
gamey.
No, I don't like deer because it's in elk because it's too gamey.
Yeah.
But this wasn't.
Makes good jerky.
Flavorful. It was hearty. if that makes any sense.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Was
that's
it
like
lean?
hearty.
Was it
Hearty.
lean?
That's a selling word for me. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
hearty's good. Yeah,
I liked it. And I had bread pudding too afterwards.
my wife likes that. I can't stand that.
Well, you know, it used to be the poor people's dessert back in France. They take their day-old and 2-day-old bread and make it into this stuff so that they could eat it. And then the rich got wind of it, and they sort of co-opted bread pudding and made it this kind of rich, fancy dessert. Once again, screwing over the poor folks of France.
Yeah.
Let him eat cake.
Darn it.
Yeah,
Co-op.
there you go.
Co-oping. Yeah.
Yeah, but I love bread pudding, man. I love it.
Yeah.
But you got to like eggs. You got to like eggs and custard, because essentially what it is custard with bread in it, some sort of bread product. But I guess if you make it with day-old donuts, that's pretty darn good too.
I do like
there you
eggs.
go. Well, guys, we're at 2 hours and 15 minutes here. I think we're going to wrap her up.
Let's do it.
Skeeter's starting to come out, so
Yeah, he's getting eaten alive.
I saw you just kind of like waving them off. Yeah, like
yeah. Once the cigar's done, they start coming out. You know, it's like my force field until.
what's that joke when you run into like you're in the distance and you see somebody run into a spider web and you just see him like making all these weird mannerisms. And you're like, what the hell's going? Is that guy having a stroke? What's going on?
Well, that's the worst when you walk into one in your face.
Yeah.
You know, you're like,
And then
Well,
it
here they
attacks
have
you like the
crazy-
alien, and you're like, ah.
Yeah, here they have jumping spiders, and they have like spiders that will go from tree to tree. So in the morning, you will walk into
oh yeah,
like a
Nope.
spider web.
No.
Yeah.
Pretty nuts.
I hate spiders. Nope.
well, remember in Florida the banana spiders?
Oh
You
yeah.
know, freaking things as big as your hand. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah, easy,
Yep.
easy. Your hand.
Keep all of that.
Webs out, you know, and you walk through and between a bunch of trees and the palmetto bushes and stuff like that, and
You
Nasty.
said Florida.
yeah,
Everything
That's
is
another
like
reason I'm not going.
everything is huge in Florida, man. The
Oh, yeah.
turtles are the little green turtles with the red cheeks. Used to buy at they're this big.
yeah.
You know?
Well,
So,
the further south you go, the bigger the reptiles, and the further north you go, the larger the mammals.
Interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
I always thought like if I was going to live in Florida, it'd be on the coastline because also the humidity isn't as bad.
You got it blown.
Yeah. If you're gonna live in Florida, you got to live on the water because at least you're getting the breeze off
Right.
the ocean stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
the humidity is the humidity; it's gonna be high, But well, gang, hey, this was a fun little night, a little
was.
pregame for everybody that's going to be going to the Tampa Bay Con. Remember to pack your Hawaiian shirts, bring your cigars. If you're local, bring some booze to share with people. And we're going to have a fun time. I will post on Facebook. The time is probably going to be around 10 o'clock, and it'll be at the hotel that's attached to the convention center. I'm not sure what it is again. I'm staying there, but I'll post about it on Facebook. So check
Why
it
don't
out.
you let them know your room number?
Yeah, I'll put my cell phone in there too.
No,
Yeah.
it's Kelsey's room number.
That's a lot
So,
of
hey, I
personal
want to thank all the
information.
bros and everybody here who came into the stream. This was a fun night. Hope everybody enjoyed it. And next week,
I think it's
next
me.
week is Aaron
Yeah.
again.
Started with the A's again.
Yep.
Yeah. So Aaron will put his huge mind to it, and we'll come up with something interesting. I'm quite sure.
Oh, I've
That's
got
his
an
way of
idea. I
saying
got
that you
a
have a
fun
big head,
idea
Aaron.
for next week. Got a fun
Oh,
idea.
you got an idea?
Yep.
You want to share?
Well, I thought it might be. I used to do this thing on my show called 70s Showdown. And whenever I had a guest on, I would say, okay, who do you like better, Shang-Chi or Iron Fist? And I'd put up, and they'd have to pick and tell why.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to do that with the bros and just have several. It'll be like a game show, but it won't be because there's no points or right answers. But
Right.
we'll go around a couple times and I'll give you guys the choice between, Dark Side and Thanos, right? Or something like that. And then you say why you like it. And then the rest of the bros will make fun of you for your choice.
Okay.
That'll be good because if there's no keeping score, then Billy will be on the down low. You know what I mean?
That's right. He won't
his
get
He
all
might
blood
not even
uptight.
pressure-
show up.
He might not even show up. If I can't win this thing, then I'm not even
Yeah.
coming.
What's the point?
We miss you, Billy, by the way.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
do.
well, Yeah, I hope you're traveling safe. Get home safe, and we'll see you next week.
All right, man.
Well, okay. Hey, thanks everybody. Have a great night,
you.
and hopefully I'll see a bunch of you guys this weekend in Tampa Bay. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Take care.
Bye.